Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, along with Dustin Fox and Zach Jackson. I'm Adam the Bull. We've got Mike, Anthony, and Steve on the other side of the glass. Plenty to get to today. Deshaun Watson, could he be in the mix once again to be the starting quarterback of the Browns? What has James Harden done to transform the Cavs? That and a whole lot more coming up. Guys, how we doing?
Doing well. Good to be with you guys. Laughing at my mustache?
Yeah, no.
Just my energy?
Your energy's a little funny.
I'm excited.
I'm laughing at your mustache.
Yeah, you're just laughing at the mustache. Yeah. Zach was just saying he's going to start playing pickleball. Is this true, or are you being sarcastic?
Well, you know, we're out of the NFL season.
We are.
Draft season is coming up, so I need to add some hobbies.
Yeah.
I tried to shovel some ice off the sidewalk, and I ended up on my butt. So
that's not good.
That hobby's out.
That's a sign of age there, Zach.
In actual tennis, so maybe some pickleball. Yeah, maybe.
It's become huge. There's a TV show or movie coming out about pickleball.
Listen, let me give you some thoughts on pickleball here quickly without going over the top.
You hate pickleball. You're an anti-pickleball guy.
Not anti-pickleball. I'm
heard.
against two things. Number one, I'm against the pickleball players who are stealing tennis courts. So there's a lot of tennis courts in public spaces for a reason, and these people, they come out and they're there all day. No, it doesn't really affect me that much, but it's very annoying.
Right. You don't mess with the plebes.
I don't. No.
You're not going to public courts. You're way too hoity-toity for that.
Listen, and then the second part is it's the people that play the sport that think they're professionals. When it's the easiest sport there is to play. I'm telling you, if you've never played pickleball, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. Pick it up tomorrow. You'd be fine.
I don't know a lot about it, but this is Dustin's roots. A place called Stadium Park in Canton. It's down from the Hall of Fame. Right?
Yeah.
The Browns had a practice there a few summers ago. I got there early. I had to be on a call or something. I pull in. I figure I'm just going to hang out in Stadium Park, do the call, get a lap in, and go up. There was nowhere to park because this pickleball tournament was going on, and you would have thought that it was like the big. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. There's indoor facilities. You know, the travel sports business is ridiculous, and I can go for 3 hours on that, so I won't. But where I take
you mean for kids?
Yeah, but I take the 14-year-old to do indoor baseball, we pass 2 pickleball spots now on the way to do in a 15-20 minute drive.
Yeah.
So it's business is booming.
Does your 14-year-old play travel ball?
Yes, he does. That's why I look so old. That and Deshaun Watson is why I look so old.
The travel situation is just crazy.
It's insane.
First of all, kids that are Little League age, if you have a Little League in your town, your kids should only be playing Little League.
Yeah, but they barely exist anymore because.
Well, that's true. We have it at Rocky River, and there were a bunch of kids that played travel, which I thought was. Now, once that's over, if the kid's really good, you want to play travel. I've cleaned up the Pony League in our town, and I'm working with Westlake and Fairview for kids that want to keep playing baseball. Yeah. The parents that don't want to spend $1,000 and travel all over the place.
Right.
And we're going to have a nice league, and it's going to be fun and competitive. And the furthest I got to travel is the Westlake Rec Center.
You know, it's not a race to be the best 14-year-old player.
Right.
You know that.
Trust me.
I know that.
Yeah.
Right.
How many kids in Northeast Ohio are playing professional baseball?
Well, if you ask their dads, a lot.
Exactly.
If you ask us, like 2.
Make it to the league?
Yeah, almost none.
To the bigs?
None.
How many are even going to get D1 scholarships in baseball?
They're very few. You know, they've reduced the numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
it's
if you're on the C travel team, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like I said, don't get me started.
Anyway, real quick question before we get into football here, guys.
About pickleball?
No, not about pickleball, but other oddball sports.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we got a question. Someone asked, what sport would you be best at in the Winter Olympics? So I put it to you guys.
I asked you that question.
Oh, Mike asked that question.
Not somebody. I asked you that.
I thought it was a Superchat.
It was an overtime.
It was you. Okay. All right. You don't need to get touchy about it.
I thought you were diminishing me to just a somebody here.
Yeah, sorry, Mike. You're not a somebody. You're better than that. Okay. Zach, what sport do you think you would be best at?
I'm just going to go the simple way and choose curling.
Okay, but now here's the tricky thing about curling, because as someone who's out of shape,
yesterday.
I was going to say curling too, because all the other sports take a lot of athleticism. But with curling, when you throw it, I don't know if it's called throwing, whatever, roll it, when you send the rock, when you push it, you have to get down there almost like in a split. Yeah. I certainly can't do that. Can you?
I can't.
Well, but you can?
Yeah, I can.
Good for you.
Like, what am I going to be good at? Cornhole, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Precision game. I can hit a couple golf shots. I can't hit enough good ones to be good.
Yeah, all right. So curling is yours.
Curling is the easy spot. Okay. I'm taking the easy way out.
All right, Dustin, you've skied. You've been a skier.
I would say ice hockey, probably.
Oh, ice hockey? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I can ice skate. And
Did you ever play hockey?
I played, street hockey as a kid growing up, for years.
Yeah.
That was our thing.
Okay, so you're going hockey.
Yeah, and I've got pretty good hand-eye coordination. I mean, I can play hockey right now. Probably not very well.
Yeah.
But I could get on the ice and hold my own.
You wouldn't hurt your calf.
I don't get hurt anymore.
You don't?
No, because I'm light. My body likes the way it feels.
There we go.
Yeah.
You're not big enough though at this point.
What are you talking about? These hockey guys aren't that big.
Yeah, the hockey guys are small. On
They
average,
are?
of professional
Yeah,
athletes, absolutely.
They're not all enforcers.
That's true. Fair enough. All right, so you got hockey and curling. Mike, let's get to our first topic of the day.
Yeah, let's dive in, guys, and we are proud, incredibly proud to have Mally's back as a sponsor today for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Yeah.
All you guys need is love and chocolate this Valentine's Day. Be ready to say those three little words, I got Mally's. From friendship to love to every situationship in between, Mally's has the perfect chocolate to say what you feel. Their famous chocolate-covered strawberries and grapes are back in stores on February 13th and 14th, and then the rest of your Valentine's Day favorites like Gold Cup assortments, foil-wrapped solid milk and dark chocolate hearts, peanut butter, caramel, raspberry, and marshmallow-filled hearts, and so much more. They're all in stores and online right now. This Valentine's Day, say it with me, guys, I got Mally's, and they were so generous they sent us some sample products.
Yeah. By the way, how many servings do you think Mally's says this?
How many servings are
chocolate hearts?
How many servings are in
How
there?
many servings does Mally's claim this is?
4.
I'd say 16.
Okay, now you could tell the difference, right? Dustin says 16. I would have said 4 like Zach. Maybe 6. They say 10.
Okay.
That's more geared toward, thinner people.
What do you think a serving size is of these little chocolatey hearts?
Which, by the way, those are the peanut butter ones.
These are probably delightful.
Absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious.
I'll say 4 of them is a serving.
Are these open?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, you could have one. They're
Can I get one? Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're bigger than I thought.
All right, so the serving size on these is
1?
2.
2 of those is 1 serving size.
Oh,
okay.
Delightful.
Is it good?
Because you can't eat just one.
No.
I mean, it's pretty hard. Anything from Mally's is pretty hard to just eat one.
This is essentially a Buckeye in
Yeah.
the shape of a heart. The Buckeye flavored one?
Yes.
Like the chocolate?
Yeah. My favorite Mally's thing is their, I don't know what you call it. It's like their version of the Nestle's Crunch. Have you had that?
Like the rice cake bar?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing from there.
I know what it is.
So I guess I shouldn't have said, because it's obviously way better than the Nestle's Crunch because it's Mally's.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah,
those are great.
It's amazing. All right, they also have the chocolate pretzels too, which are really good. All right, Mike, before I get myself hungry here again.
We're proud to have Mally's back as a sponsor.
Love Mally's.
We
They're
love
the best.
Mally's. Get all your chocolate needs this Valentine's Day
Absolutely.
at Mally's.com.
Now available at Heinen's too, by the way.
Yes.
They did that about a year ago.
Awesome. Let's dive into our first topic, guys. Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, friend of the show, put out a report yesterday about Deshaun Watson and Deshaun Watson's health. According to Mary Kay, Deshaun began working out with his private trainer in South Florida on Monday and will begin throwing on Wednesday, that's today, with his private quarterbacks coach Quincy Avery and possibly some Browns receivers, a source said. Watson, 30, was fully cleared for all football activity in November and will have no restrictions in his workouts. Now, Todd Monken, and Steve, you want to take the next one, was asked about Deshaun at his introductory press conference, asked about all the quarterbacks. He didn't necessarily give a definitive answer, but in a small group session after that initial interview, Mary Kay Cabot transcribed what he said, or at least put into conclusion of what was said. This is from Mary Kay's article about Todd Monken. In a small group session after his introductory press conference, Monken acknowledged that he is, quote, intrigued by the opportunity to work with Watson, the 2017 number 12 overall pick and 3-time Pro Bowler during his 4 years in Houston, and see where that might go. Bull, are you buying any chance that Deshaun Watson could legitimately be in play to be the Browns' QB1 this upcoming season?
I am, guys. And that's because it's a new coach. And unless the Haslam said flat out you can't play this guy, why wouldn't you be? I get it. We know all the reasons why he should be gone. We know all the reasons why he probably can't play anymore. But if you're Todd Monken and you're 60 years old and you just got your first head coaching opportunity and your options right now are Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, there's no clear better option out there. We'll see. We're going to get into some of that with you later. Maybe there is. Maybe you see a better option. But if you're looking at the only options right now, you'd be crazy if you were Todd Monken to not at least be open-minded to the possibility, because Deshaun Watson is the only guy on this team at the position that's ever been good. So as much of a long shot as it is, as much as I would just move on from him, if he's here, why not? Why wouldn't you at least consider it if you were him?
Well, the flip side of that is you're Todd Monken, your first-time head coach. You kind of have a blank slate in the quarterback room, which is not good because it's the most important position in sports. And you're looking at a scenario where your starting quarterback could get booed in a home game.
That's true.
Where you're the coach here, right? Like, Deshaun Watson has been a disaster, and the Browns are in a disastrous state because of Deshaun Watson.
That is correct.
That said, nothing you said is wrong because he's on the roster.
Right.
And nobody knows what this quarterback depth chart is going to be, how it's going to be further constructed, or how it's going to turn out because there's no sure things. But the problem is, Bull, one of many, he's on the roster because they can't afford to cut him.
That's right.
They have to take his gigantic and embarrassing salary cap number and cut it in half just to be able to field a team. Because they traded the farm for this guy, and he's done nothing but be disappointing. He had 3 good games. And if you want to say 5, that's fine. He started 19 games. Yeah. He has sunk your franchise. He's the reason.
No other way about it.
Right?
Yeah.
So maybe he can play, and he is healthy. He's had this time, and he has every reason to think. But to think that this is somewhat viable, or to think that it could go anywhere, is crazy thoughts, and you're wasting your time. Go get another young guy and develop that young guy. If Deshaun has to play, he has to play. But any thought that this is intriguing, this is interesting, this could work, it's not rational thinking.
Yeah, it's a bit delusional. I understand from his standpoint, Zach, where he would be like, okay, that's my room. Okay, well, there's only one guy in that room, like Bull said, that has actually done it in the NFL, and it's Deshaun Watson. Now, the other side of things is, this organization, this fan base, everyone, us, media, like, we've gone through this. Like, we pretty much put that thing to bed, thinking that was done. Like, that chapter of this franchise's embarrassing moments is over, and now I think you sort of rip open that wound and make everyone.
He hasn't been here for all of it.
Right. I mean, he's like probably like, oh, he didn't go through that. He didn't experience anything that the fans and everyone has had to deal with him. As Zach said,
well, he did. He experienced the crash, right?
Sure.
Like, his career was here, and he was making all this money, and his opportunity to revitalize.
I'm talking about Todd Monken.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Monken's never been through any of this, so he's probably like, all right, clean slate. I can come in there. But boy, I sure tell you, if he puts him out there and it goes south again, people are going to be mad at him.
And that's the thing. If Deshaun Watson plays okay, that's fine. But it doesn't solve anything. He's not a bridge quarterback. He's a bridge to nowhere. He's only under contract for this year. And then you owe him $90 million more. Right? So like, he would have to play so well. And it kind of goes back to 2022, where it was never like, okay, it's here and that's good enough. Maybe in 2022, but especially because the Browns kept pushing this money forward. Why are we talking about dead money with David Njoku this week and Joe Antonio? Because of Deshaun Watson, right? Why couldn't they even entertain the thought of trading Myles Garrett even if they wanted to? Because of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. It has sabotaged everything else.
So he's here. Yeah. It hasn't worked. And if it works a little bit, like, what is the defense going to be that good that average quarterback play for 6 or 8 games could get you into the playoffs or make you a Super Bowl contender?
Jay Crawford may argue.
Maybe. But it's crazy talk. Still, and that's before you even get into the thought that he has not been on a football field in a year and a half.
And it's a long shot that he could even play at a mediocre level.
Correct, because we have seen him go out there and not show any semblance of being able to play in the NFL.
But the fact, the mess that their quarterback room is the only reason why, because it's a new coach, that I would leave open the remotest possibility. As unlikely as I think it is, as much as I don't want to see it, I can't completely shut the door.
The fact that the door is open is inarguable, right?
Yes.
But do you even want to go near it?
I don't.
Let alone crack it a little bit more. And it seems like bad business by a new coach to even go near it.
The reality is they should just make him the third string quarterback. They should get rid of Dylan Gabriel and bring in somebody else, whether it's another young player or even if it's let's just say the Malik Willis thing. I know we're going to get into that later, but even if it's a young player who's already in the league,
right,
and have that guy and Shedeur Sanders compete for the job. 2 guys, not 3, not 4.
Correct.
2 guys compete for the job. And let's see what happens.
That is an important part of this.
Yeah.
It's early for all of this, but an important part of this is how you structure it, right? Because last year, a 4-man quarterback competition was a disaster from the start.
Beyond
it came out that they didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
It was never set up the right way. Obviously, things do happen in this league with players, with personalities, with whatever. So I would like to see, and I think Browns fans want and need to see, right, 2 at most.
Yes,
right?
that's it.
Want them to say, we're not guaranteeing Shedeur anything except the chance to go out and try to grab the job. And that means he's first in line in May.
Right,
he's first in line in July 25th, whenever it is. And whomever they draft, whether it's a guy in the 2nd round or 4th round, knows that he's back in that line and he's there. And he can learn from Deshaun. He can learn from Shedeur. He can wait his opportunity. But create that order to where it's Shedeur's job until he's not. It's not. Right, like saying we want to do this, I just don't get it. I mean, I don't think it's been good. I think history should teach you it's not been good for anything, and nothing about Deshaun has been good for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I certainly think that it would be bad for the organization if he plays well. Honestly,
right? Unless he plays super well.
He would have to play. He would have to have a Stafford type of year.
Yes,
for us to be like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to give him
There is no middle ground.
Yeah.
To where, like I said, he plays. Shedeur gets hurt, so he doesn't even fail.
Yeah.
And Deshaun plays the next 6 games and goes 3-3.
Yeah.
It keeps your team alive.
Yeah.
But it has not helped push anything forward.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he would need to start a dozen games. They'd need to win 10 of those games. He'd need to throw for 4,000 yards.
He'd have to look like the guy.
Touchdowns.
Correct.
He'd have to look like the guy we thought they traded for.
You wouldn't be able to say on December 2nd, hey, the Browns are in this thing.
Right.
You would need to be able to say, the Browns can win the AFC.
Right.
That's the only way that it's successful.
Deshaun Watson's back. I have no idea how it happened. He sucked for 5 years, and now he's back.
That's the only way.
Anything
it's even
short of that,
successful.
it's
and then
nothing.
even then, he's headed to free agency with $90 million of dead money.
Yeah, I know.
What a life.
Oh my gosh, it is crazy. I mean, there's no obvious solution, but I think a real 2-man competition, because Shedeur wasn't. They called it a 4-man competition, but it wasn't.
It was really veteran versus veteran.
Right.
And the rookies waiting there too.
Exactly.
And then Kenny Pickett did not get involved because on the 4th day of camp he got hurt.
But we need a legitimate. I think that's what's best for the franchise at the moment is Shedeur versus either a rookie or a young veteran in a mano-a-mano 2-man competition.
And that is the other part here, Bull, that why Watson's complicated. Because going to get someone, whether it's Malik Willis or Mac Jones or someone way down the list like a Trey Lance, you have Watson here. So you're right. So probably the best thing is just to designate him. He's the 3rd.
Yeah, make him. Who was the quarterback that was here that was like? I'm trying to think back in the day. He was a journeyman quarterback. Was like in Arizona for a while. I think he's a coach now. Like, treat him just like he's one of these third-string guys. Like he's a McCown or something, like late in the career.
The guy,
or a Flacco.
Like what's his name? Clipboard Jesus?
Are you talking about Austin Davis?
I am.
Austin Davis. Nice job. Good
or just someone like that where you don't expect them to play. Yeah. They're in the room, kind of know their role. There are things that he can provide, talking about Deshaun, to these young players. Like, he's experienced a lot, and if he is the great guy that he claims to be, then he should be willing to help those young players.
Yeah, I mean, off the field aside, obviously it's a big part of what's happened. Deshaun doesn't have a bad reputation amongst his teammates.
That's what I'm saying. So
he's not known as
and he has seen a lot in this league because he's been not to the highest of highs, but he's been up there. And he's been pretty much the lowest of lows.
So that's it. Let me ask you guys this. Malik Willis we're going to talk about later, right?
Yeah, Zach's in about
30
let's
hold
Zach's
that.
going to lead us through his quarterback landscape, and then we'll get
I'm interested in that. So
rumors,
let's get to that later. So plenty more quarterback talk coming up. Let's talk some hoops, though, now.
Let's get to some hoops, guys. Before we do that, a quick reminder that if the hoops discussion on UCSS today isn't enough to get all your Cavs takes in, Jason and I did tape an Ultimate Cavs show yesterday, kind of previewing tonight's home debut for James Harden, his mix with Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen so far. All of the above. We're going to talk about it now, but if you want even more after that discussion, you can find another 35 minutes of Cavs content on our YouTube page. It is directly involved with tonight's home opener against the Washington Wizards. And with that, let's talk about tonight's game, Bull. Mm-hmm. It is must-watch television. The home debut for not only James Harden, but Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. It's the first time this new-look Cavs will play in front of the Cleveland faithful. They're playing a Washington team that is actively tanking. The Cavs have won 9 of 10. They've won 4 in a row. They're giving out beards to tonight's game. Steve, if you want to take tag board here. Anyone in attendance will get a James Harden beard.
They put that together quickly. Nice job.
We tried to get some for today's show. I will have some for tomorrow's show, so maybe we'll be bearded up if the Cavs can pull off the win. But, Zach, it is James Harden's home debut. You have not given us your thoughts since James Harden has actually played in a Cavaliers uniform. So what say you about this monumental game tonight?
There's some juice to
Cavaliers
this.
and
Right?
Wizards.
Would anyone care about the last game before the All-Star break against the Washington Wizards if James Harden wasn't here?
No.
Right? Would anyone have stayed up to watch the Sacramento game last Saturday?
Dude, it was appointment TV for me and Tatum Fox.
Yeah, because James Harden was there.
That's right.
I wouldn't have watched a minute of this game tonight.
Sure.
Not a minute.
Yeah, no, so look, it's exciting. I think the body language has already shown it. You know, they found a way to get a win in a tough environment the other night. And look, they got things to work out. There's questions about this, but when you watch James Harden, you're like, that's James Harden. And the one thing I can tell you is I was watching the other night a little bit, trying to pay attention to the rotations and the groupings. Just it's early.
Yeah.
And at one point, there's a sub, and James Harden comes in the game for, I think, Tomlin. And I thought, well, usually that'd be Dean Wade coming in. Or like, that's James Harden.
Yeah.
Like, he's a Cleveland Cavalier.
I know.
And so it's only a couple games in.
Yeah.
But it's exciting, and this team can win the East, and that keeps us compelled. It's mid-February, but we should still be talking about James Harden and the Cavs in mid-May.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I said a lot on our show. We talked about this week. I'm super excited about this trade. I loved what he was able to do in these first couple of games. I mean, it seems like, and we're in a group chat together with the sickos, and we talk about all the things about whether the Cavs can be a title contender, can they win the number 1 seed. All of these things I think are on the table now, guys, because of this move. Not just this move, by the way. The Ellis move, the Schroeder move. Those 3 players have added some sort of energy to this group that it's undeniable if you watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah, I think there's no other way. And a couple of the players said it. I think with Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen already said, we have a totally different vibe. There's a different energy. Like, again, we all acknowledge the flaws with James Harden. Like, we understand his history in the postseason. But there's no doubt. Somebody in our group chat for UCSS sent a clip of Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce talking about James Harden and how everybody's looking at the Cavs as differently now, because it's not just that James Harden's better than Darius Garland. It may not be this massive gap, but it's a different level of player and a different level of respect.
He demands respect. There's no doubt. I mean, the guy's a Hall of Fame player who is still playing at an extremely high clip, and You're more scared of James Harden than you are of Darius Garland.
And it's not just the scoring, which he's better than Darius Garland.
It's the assists.
It's his passing. He is an elite passer.
Yes.
And when he wants to, I mean, again, he has a reputation as a bad defender. He's played good defense in these 2 games so far. Does he have it in him for 1 season here to play good defense? Obviously, he's bigger than Darius Garland.
It hasn't had a practice yet with his knee.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild.
Right.
I mean, dude, they win on Saturday night. It was Saturday night, right?
Yeah,
the Kings
Saturday
game,
night.
right? And after the game, I mean, Travis Scott's there. I mean,
picking him up
on the sidelines. I mean, he already has infiltrated the locker room. I mean, talking about James, he's respected. The guys love him already, and how can you not? They've won a couple games. He's played well.
Gravity.
He does, of course.
Cavs are sexy now.
And by the way, I'm sure that James Harden in that locker room is an awesome dude to be around. You know, when you're a great player, there's things to learn from. There's experiences. He's 36 years old.
Right.
God, man, I remember when I was 25 to 36. It's light years of maturity from those 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, he was in a situation in LA where he didn't know how it was going to end, but this year was out. Well, now he's got a chance to win a title.
Yep.
He doesn't know how many more of those he's going to get.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? So, of course, he wants another contract.
Yeah.
And of course, he hopes more chances come. But he gets in a situation here where it's definitely here. The Cavs can win the East, and whether they finish 1 seed, 4 seed, whether they need 2 weeks or 2 months to get this figured out, they've got that time. Well, the immediate energy is jumping off the TV to us now, and that's great. But they've got time here when they get back from the All-Star break to lock in and say, let's go do this thing.
Yeah. The one thing James Harden doesn't have, he's got plenty of money, and another contract would be great, and for him to make more money, great. But money doesn't buy you a championship.
That's right.
Money doesn't buy you the legacy that people would look back upon 10, 20 years from now and say James Harden's a champion. I mean, they say the guy's a lazy defender and a bad teammate.
Hey, the Cavs are now the third favorite. They're favorite in the East. Obviously, they'd be a significant underdog if they did make it to the finals against Oklahoma City or whoever they play.
By the way, Denver's the second favorite, and they just beat them on.
Yeah, but that's one game and not the playoffs. But yes,
let's go full optimist here.
Okay.
If you survive the East, you've probably done it in a less grueling fashion than
100%.
whoever survives the West. At least that's what we hope right now.
Most likely, yes.
Right.
That's very likely.
It's easy for us to say, but that's very likely. Yeah. And we also don't think Oklahoma City is the juggernaut that it was last year. And also, Oklahoma City was losing in the finals last year before.
That's true.
So it can happen.
Yeah,
if you
like
get
they're
there,
unbeatable.
You can do it. Right? If you get there, you can do it.
100%.
And this Cavs team needs to at least get to the Eastern Finals. But if you get that far, you can do it.
And James Harden could change his reputation. And again, as we've talked about, he's had some famous flameouts, especially in Game 7. But it's not like the guy's never had good playoff games. He's had plenty of good playoff games.
And guess what? This team, Donovan Mitchell, could do things in Game 7 that make James Harden a spectator. Just get him there.
I was just going to say, so that is a great comment because in that post-game interview, James Harden already, acquiesced to Donovan Mitchell. He's like, this is Donovan's team. I'm just here to help him with whatever he needs.
But it is interesting, though, because Donovan's never played with a player as good as James Harden.
I don't think so.
Right?
No, he's never. This
is his best teammate.
By far his best.
I was talking about it the other day, and I was saying, Donovan's one of James Harden's best teammates, but he's had a lot of great teammates. Donovan Mitchell has never had a teammate as good as James Harden.
I would agree.
And so I think my hope is that when Evan Mobley comes back, it takes a level of pressure off of him, and I think he should get back to doing what he forget the 3-point shooting. Yeah, once in a while, but just do what Jarrett Allen's doing. When you're in there, just feed him at the post, just like Donovan and Harden, and just do that, and don't worry about shooting the threes because he's been terrible at that, and they were trying to. It feels like they were trying to make him something he's not, and now he can kind of just go back to being himself. And it's clear. And I know Jarrett. Are we talking about Jarrett Allen later? Do you want me to save Jarrett Allen?
Yeah, save the Jarrett Allen stuff. But I got two things I got to read to you real quick.
Go ahead.
So after the win over Denver, 2 quotes stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about a number of quotes from the Cavs throughout the course of the season, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about some stuff Kenny said, some stuff Donovan said. We talked about Jalen Tyson quotes.
Yeah.
I want to read you these 2 quotes. The first is from Jarrett Allen. This is after the win over Denver. Chris Fedor, who traveled with the team, Cleveland.com, put this out.
Yeah, he asked that. Was he the only one traveling with the team?
He's the only one that travels to road games.
Because I'm watching the post game and every question is Chris.
Go ahead. It's a beautiful.
Good for him. Go ahead.
Jarrett Allen, and I quote, "There's definitely a different energy now. Everyone feels a new energy and another belief that we can go even further than we did last year. The belief is around the team. The last few games we have proven that we can be an amazing team down the stretch and during the game. There's just a whole new belief and confidence. When you see change, you believe things are going to be different, and we believe things are now headed in a new direction." That's one. You ready for the next big one?
Ready for it.
This is from Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this whole thing. It's a little long, but stick with me. Trust me.
All right.
"I think you guys understand what's at stake. You see what's here? There's a window. This is the window. This is the time. In a sense, the team is going all in. It's time to go. When you make that move, understanding James's age and where he's at in his career, the time is now. There's no runway in a sense with a group like that. You sacrifice more. You believe even more. You go out there. You feel it even more. I love the pressure. I love the expectations. I love the questions that come from it. I love it all. We need that. Embrace it. I think it's a little bit of a jolt of energy for everybody. When you make that move, what are you making it for? To win a championship. That's it. We know the expectations. We're not running from that as a group." End quote. You can't put it any more bluntly than that.
Yeah.
What's ahead? And I kind of love the fact that they are not shying away now from any kind of external expectations because they know what's at stake.
Yeah.
Well, when they know what's at stake, it's a lot easier to actually calculate the path to getting to that goal, making the sacrifices if everyone's on the same page.
This is the window. This is the time, right? That jumps out at you. But it's why you make the trade. It sums it up.
I hate how excited I am because it's only been 2 seconds. It's regular season basketball, and I'm sitting here like, I think they can compete.
Yeah, we're definitely getting carried away.
I know, but
it's fun.
But it is fun because I haven't been able to have this feeling where I could realistically feel like they could do something, and now I can. So
it's the honeymoon period.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be enjoyable.
You know, sometimes
put it this way. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you full transparency.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we bought season tickets for the Bills for the new stadium for next year.
Yeah.
They're expensive, dude. PSLs, like, so we had to make a decision because we probably couldn't afford to have Cavs season tickets. So we called the Cavs and we dropped our season tickets.
Now you're upset with yourself.
Guess who we called on Monday?
The Cavs.
And we re-upped them. We re-upped them.
Like, I got to have this too.
Yeah, we told them we're making the sacrifice because of basically what I've seen gives me hope that, number one, this team can do something this year, and number two, 23 next year.
Well, maybe with LeBron coming back.
I said 23. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
LeBron.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah. You picking up what I'm putting down?
I thought you were saying, forget it.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you cover sports for a living, as we do, it's easy to be cynical. It's easy to say nothing matters till the playoffs. But part of being a sports fan when you first get into sports as a kid, as we all did, is enjoying the ride of the season. Sometimes it's hard to do that, but and like when LeBron was here, by year 3 or 4, the regular season was boring because we knew they were going to the finals or at least the Eastern Conference. But now I feel like I can enjoy, especially like late February, March. Usually that's really boring, but I'm fascinated to see not only tonight, but when they play Oklahoma City, when they play the Knicks, the Celtics, the Detroit Pistons, who they have coming up, all these good teams on their schedule that I want to see how they stack up against now.
Well, 4 weeks ago, they played Oklahoma City in a standalone national TV game.
Right.
And they got flattened. You got to think that drove this.
Yes.
Right? So what you said is true, Bull, but it is real. Like, this team can't prove anything till the playoffs.
That's true.
But you do have different areas of evaluation, and at different times you reassess. You reassess where you're spending your money.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
You reassess where are we. And you can't, it's no fun when you go through an 82-game regular season and you can't really solve anything. But you have to use that as ways to guide you. You know, and they said we have to make this move. And so then you hear Donovan say the window is now, the time is now. It is. So it can't be, it's not April 20th, it's not May 20th yet. But like they go get this move and now you say, okay, a healthy Mobley who can do less. Not has to do less, but can field less pressure, can get more dunks. Right? James Harden can do this. Donovan Mitchell can actually sit for more than 30 seconds in a playoff series on the road.
100%.
Right? Like all of that stuff can mean something.
And when the owner of your team makes a move that feels like an all-in move, which obviously this is, as Donovan said, it gets you excited as a fan because that's what you want the owner to want it as much as you do. Because as fans, we often feel like we care more than the players do. We care more than the coaches do. We care more than whether it's true or not. That's how we feel as fans.
Yep.
And so when the owner, and in this town, the Browns, the owner is willing to go for it, but they have no clue what they're doing, so they always stink. With the Guardians, the people running the Guardians know exactly what they're doing, but the owner won't go for it, so it kind of leaves them in limbo. Whereas the Cavs, the owner's been a bit of a wild card at times, but he's always willing to go for it. And he's not as inept as Jimmy Haslam, so he doesn't always get in the way of progress. Sometimes he does, but he doesn't always get in the way like Jimmy does.
Yeah, they're going for it. And here they are. So, the Wizards are the Wizards.
Yeah.
And tonight's one thing, but there's juice. There's excitement here.
Yep.
And we'll see a few weeks from now, get Mobley back. How are they splitting minutes? How are they bonding? Who's getting the ball in the fourth quarter? And I think to an extent that James Harden is fine with Donovan doing that.
100%.
A fresher Donovan is good. Donovan with options is good. So let's see where it goes from here.
It's going to be interesting when Mobley comes back. And certainly to a lesser degree, I guess, when Max Strus comes back eventually, because he's another potential weapon for the team. And then it's going to be interesting to see who's out of the rotation come playoff time. Go ahead, Mike.
I find it funny, in a good way,
that
like last year during the regular season, they won 64 regular season games. We knew that all the offensive numbers, all the records they were breaking. And it was a fun regular season, but by the end, it was like, let's just get to the playoffs, right? Let's just get to the playoffs.
I think we'll feel that way again by the time we get to April.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
But then they lose in the playoffs, and then we look back and say, well, the regular season's meaningless.
Yeah.
None of that actually mattered. Then this year starts, and they start off slow. They start off underperforming. They start off, frankly, no other way to say it besides a disappointing start to the year. And people are getting frustrated. The results aren't there. And, Jason and I are trying to say, well, hey, we said the regular season doesn't matter. Like, let's wait. These final 28 games tonight and then the 27 post-All-Star break don't necessarily matter as much for standings purposes as much as team chemistry, figuring out each other's tendencies. But this has the juice back into the regular season that I thought would have been impossible to get for the Cavaliers after their flame out against Indiana last season.
Yeah.
Like the juice, the energy has totally been reinvigorated into the city, into the town, into the feeling around this team when I thought there was no chance that anything could have changed that before the playoffs started this year.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and I think an important point is this team doesn't necessarily have to win a bunch of games down the stretch to chase a seed.
Right.
Like if guys have to rest or something else comes up. But now this energy could carry them to that, right?
That's true.
Detroit's got suspensions. Detroit's never been the guy that's in front.
Those just came out, by the way. Did you see them, Zach?
What was it for
what did it
Stewart?
end up being?
Stewart got 7 games.
Okay.
Bridges and Diabate got 4 games, and Duran got 2 games.
What set this thing off, this fight? Do we know?
Diabate and Jalen Duran, I don't know how to pronounce it actually.
Jalen Duran, yeah.
Duran. Were physical all game. Someone said something. Duran pushed Diabate in the face. Diabate lost his mind. Bridges came in, threw a sucker punch, and then Stewart ran off the bench. And
he got 7 because he's a multiple-time offender running off the bench to fight.
Yeah.
So.
I like a good fight, though. It looked legit, like guys were actually throwing punches.
Yeah, it was
there were some real punches thrown in that
Yeah.
one.
It was legit.
Usually basketball fights, guys are like flailing around, looking so uncoordinated when it comes to fighting. All right, Mike, we'll get back to the Cavs later.
Last day of the game tonight. Give me a prediction. They win.
A prediction. It's an NBA
Yeah,
regular season
I want a
game.
regular season prediction
I'll say
against the tanking Wizards team.
Cavs win 131 to 106.
And how many points for Harden?
27.
He won't
Zach?
get that many. He'll be out of the game by then.
Yeah, I don't think he
good
needs
point.
to get that many.
All right, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right number.
I think the Cavs are like 18-point favorites.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the
Oh, is it that big?
Wizards are really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
And what Anthony Davis is not playing, right?
Yeah, he's shut down for the year.
The Nets and Wizards are like two of the worst basketball teams I think I've ever seen in the NBA.
By the way, did you see the comments from? Did you see what happened with the Utah Jazz yesterday and the comments from Bobby Marks?
I didn't see Bobby Marks' comments, but I know that the Utah Jazz are taking guys out in the first quarter.
So the Utah Jazz were like losing by 3 or something. They refused. The coach would not put his starters back in the game. Didn't call a timeout to like set up a play to try to tie the game, and the Jazz ended up winning anyway. And Bobby Marks, the former GM of the Nets, was on, I think, ESPN, I guess.
He works for ESPN.
And he was just going off. And he's right. This is a disgrace.
Well, it's mid-February. It's not April. It is a disgrace.
I mean, it's a disgrace. Teams can't be trying to lose. I understand when the organization puts together a roster where they're like, our goal is not winning this year. I don't like that, but I get it. But as a coach, you cannot sit starters to purposely try to lose a game.
Well, there are 10 teams in the NBA right now.
That's a disgrace.
That are outwardly tanking.
That's a disgrace, and it's disrespectful to the fans that go to the games.
Should be fined.
There's
by
no
the league.
excuse for that. You can't try to lose basketball
Yeah,
games.
but you know what? This falls in the league. This is
That's what I'm saying. The league has
Yeah.
a decision to make here, and if they're going to let it happen, then the teams are going to take advantage of
You
this
could,
not
you
being
could
enforced.
solve this easily, but they won't do it.
How?
What's your
What's
fix?
easy
I
about it?
have an idea.
Well, I shouldn't say it's easy, because my idea was all the teams that don't make the playoffs, they play a tournament for the first pick. But then the bottom playoff teams would try to lose on purpose to get in that
There's
tournament.
always a catch. There's always there's always a maybe here for sure.
So that's a flaw in my plan. But
Yeah.
The one plan I've heard that I kind of like, and it's still there's some consequences that could come with this, but essentially on March 1st, you get credited for wins in terms of how it affects the draft lottery. So if you're a bad team, like, yes, it starts where how bad you are on March 1st, but from March 1st to the end of the season, it actually helps your odds the more wins you get. So it takes away the incentive for teams.
So like a weighted lottery system.
Yes.
The standings are the standings, but there's a weighted lottery system.
So you tank until March and then try to win?
Yeah. No.
Kinda, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a perfect solution, but.
Well, I was just going to say this. Yeah. I have no idea who the Wizards are trotting out there last night. A month ago, I could have named a lot of the guys in the Wizards lineup.
Isn't McCollum playing for them now?
No, they traded him.
He got traded.
So they made 2 major trades, and then they got Anthony Davis and had no intention to play him this year. So they're tanking, but ideally it's the end of their tank because they've picked up him and Trae Young, so they're not playing.
Right.
So I could have named some, but they've shipped these guys off.
Yeah.
So I have no idea.
Who's that guy? The champagne guy? Champagne?
Champanagi.
Zach, you're new to the show. We like to play this game with Bull. Real basketball player who played real minutes for the Wizards or made-up name.
Go ahead.
Okay.
These are the top 8 guys who played.
Is the Israeli guy on Washington? What team's he on now?
He's on Portland. He was an all-star.
He's
he's good.
Yeah.
Denny Advia.
Mike, let me give it a go.
So Zach, I know you looked at the box score, so you can play along if you want, but this is for Dustin and Bull specifically.
Okay.
Bub Carrington.
That's real.
That's a real name.
It is real. Bilal Coulibaly.
That's fake.
Fake.
He's real.
He's a lottery pick 2 years ago.
That was interesting because I know you. I knew Bub had to be real because you wouldn't have come up with that on your own.
Okay.
But that sounded like a name you could come up with on your own.
Sharif Cooper.
Cooper, no.
That's fake.
He please play for the Cavs. Very
he's
real.
a real
He was at the
person.
Charge game last night.
All right.
Jameer Watkins.
Fake.
Fake.
Real.
Played 30.
Why you keep giving us real ones?
The whole point is I'll give you all real ones. None of these are fake, and you're not going to be able to tell which is real.
I just keep assuming you're eventually going to give us a fake one.
This was their starting lineup against the Heat last night.
Yeah.
I believe these 5 guys will probably start again tonight.
Okay, go ahead.
Justin Champagnie.
Only heard of him because Dustin just mentioned him a minute ago.
Kaishan George, who was
Never
a
heard of
first-round
him.
pick last year. Alex Sarr, the number 2 pick
I've heard
year.
of him.
Yeah.
Don't
Bub
know why,
Carrington
but I
and
have.
Bilal Coulibaly with Tristan Vucevic, Sharif Cooper, Keshawn Gilbert, Will Riley, and Jameer Watkins coming off.
Wow, that is the most nondescript team of all time.
Sharif Cooper's been everywhere, right? Like, he's been in the G League. He's been on a few teams.
Thank you.
I don't know who Will Riley is.
He was the first-round pick this year.
Okay.
He was the freshman at
All right.
Oh,
Very
okay.
good.
Okay. Yeah, just 1 year of college. So he's 19 years old out there. Yeah.
Yep.
On that note,
Let's get back to talking a little quarterbacks. We'll talk some more Cavs at the end of the show, guys. Before we dive into Zach's first suggested topic in his UCSS tenure, a quick reminder that Mally's is all you need this Valentine's Day. Love, chocolate, and Mally's. Those are the 3 things that go better than anything else. And on Valentine's Day, be ready to say the 3 little words that everyone wants to hear. I got Mally's. From friendship to love to every situationship in between, Mally's has the perfect chocolate to say what you feel. They're famous. Chocolate-covered strawberries and grapes are back in stores February 13th and 14th. And the rest of their Valentine's Day favorites, like Gold Cup assortments, foil-wrapped solid and milk chocolate hearts, peanut butter, caramel, raspberry, marshmallow-filled hearts, and so much more. They're all in stores and online now. This Valentine's, say it with Mally's.
by the way, I got to say I'm a little disappointed we're not talking about the big Guardians news today.
They did nothing?
Would they sign Jesus Aguilar?
Touche. Now, you have to be a diehard to get that reference. Yeah. But no, you didn't hear the big news about the Guardians?
They saved some money on their car insurance?
This is their second biggest story behind Jose Ramirez.
C.J. Cephas?
C.J. Cephas.
Oh,
you know what
the dots in his name.
He removed the dots after C and J. So now he's just C.J. instead of C.J.
Thanks for that update.
Yeah, that's what kind of offseason it's been for the Guardians.
Kind of quiet.
Thanks, Bull.
All right.
So this is something I need to set up. I'm going to let Zach run it.
No, Zach's going to set it up.
But Zach texted me and said, hey, I got a quarterback landscape idea.
Yeah.
So, Zach, I'm going to pass the torch to you. We have made graphics. I did tweak the names of some of your categories so it all fit into the graphic. But Zach is the official, we're calling this the official quarterback landscape for the 2026.
Fascinated about
this.
So,
I mean, I wanted Mike to make something pretty of it. I didn't mean for it to be its own thing, but I just basically went through the list. Okay. Here are the teams that definitely need quarterbacks. Here are the teams that probably are shopping for quarterbacks. And then it went down the list of, it's pretty thin to start with. So who do teams actually want? Who are the retreads times 8, right? And then who are maybe some of the other names that are out there, whether they're intriguing names or not. So I just kind of put it really for my own.
So we can see it.
But for this format so you can see it.
So let's start with the teams that definitely need a quarterback.
Yep, the definite need a quarterback list.
How many we got?
Zach, the floor is yours.
Only 4?
Yeah, so the Raiders, they're in a league of their own because they're going to address it. But the Jets need a QB, the Dolphins need a QB, and Arizona needs a QB. There is some thought that the new coach in Arizona might try to make it work with Kyler Murray. Probably that relationship's broken.
Yeah.
It's probably not going anywhere. And the other interesting thing with that, too, is if they would keep Kyler or they would move on and decide they were going to tank, Jacoby Brissett is under contract. He played decently last year without
He did.
Kyler.
Yeah.
What if he became available? So that so none of this is in stone for teams. But those are the four that jump out, and the Raiders.
We're saying besides the Browns.
Yeah. The Browns are in the next category for me.
Okay.
So the Raiders almost certainly are going to scratch themselves from that list by addressing that at 1.1. So that leaves, as we go to March 9th.
How come you didn't put the Browns in this category?
Because the Browns have Shedeur under contract and have Watson under contract.
I see what you're saying.
Okay. So that, all right. Quinn Ewers is under contract for Miami.
Yeah.
But, Shedeur has started 7 games. Deshaun has started 7 years.
Okay. Fair enough.
They're there for right now.
All right. So we got 4 teams definitely need a quarterback, but we're going to leave off the Raiders because they're going to have Mendoza. Yeah. So 3 teams that will still need a quarterback after the draft. Okay. Next group.
The Browns fall into Zach's next group, which is almost certainly shopping, which I changed to most likely looking to fit the graphic.
Right, and it's different categories, right? The Vikings have a guy, they don't trust him. They have a team that thinks it should be in the Super Bowl. That guy was so bad he got the GM fired. Yikes. Now, should that have happened here? Yes, absolutely. It didn't happen. But you have the Rams, who are one of the best teams in the league, probably the second best team in the league, have an MVP.
They're looking for their Aaron Rodgers.
Right. He's decided he's coming back for another year. Is it more than one? We'll find out, right? But they are in the looking for a quarterback business. Their primary backup has been Jimmy Garoppolo. He's headed back to free agency. Right. Beyond that, they have Stetson Bennett, who worked with that guy on the screen there, Todd Monken. I don't think he's coming to Cleveland. I'm just saying here, this is the category where you can feel pretty good that these teams are looking and looming in these deals.
Right.
But they're not, especially given the quarterback landscape where it's Mendoza and then a big gap.
Yeah.
No guarantee that these teams are,
especially the Rams, because they don't need it this year.
Correct.
Yeah. The other.
What's interesting about them this year is they have an extra first-round pick, and it's in the top 15.
That's true.
So if they wanted to draft a guy at either 15 or is it 30, I believe.
Right.
They're in that position.
Right.
And that affects the Browns.
Right.
If they're in the
That's
quarterback
true.
business.
That's true, because the Rams could use one of those spots on a quarterback and still fill a need.
Right. At 15, they can take the best available player.
Right.
At whatever position.
Right.
And then as teams get to the end of the first round, and like the Jets, who have the first pick of the second round, might want to use that on QB, but they have to sit there and sweat.
That's true.
Potentially.
It's a good point. It's a good point. All right, I like that. Next group.
Next category, the probably shopping category, which features 2 teams that we're quite familiar with. Zach?
Yeah, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have probably Aaron Rodgers coming back, and the Atlanta Falcons, who have a commitment on some level to Michael Penix. They're probably going to let Kirk Cousins go. But they have a new staff, new GM and new head coach, and that sometimes means you go quarterback shopping. Yeah. So they don't have a first-rounder.
Right.
They have Michael Penix under rookie contract for 2 more seasons, but he has not been healthy. He's not been spectacular.
He hasn't played enough that I would 100% give up on him, but with the new staff, you're right.
That's a team like if Brissett was available. Kevin's done that before.
That's true.
Kevin's coached a lot of quarterbacks, so
yes.
Okay, but that's the category there. Whereas if you're Pittsburgh, you're probably like, okay, 1 more year of Rodgers. We know the ceiling's low, but we trust him. We're going to develop Will Howard. However, we have nothing guaranteed. So if we do like a guy at pick 21, then we have to think about taking him. If we do like a guy at pick 50, we have to think about taking him. If we do, Malik Willis is a guy that could be a Pittsburgh. Probably not if Aaron Rodgers is coming back. But that's kind of a logical, if they did want to move on from Rodgers.
Why do you think, well, let's get to, when we get to Malik Willis on the list, I
have questions for Zach too,
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
So, Zach, you put a temporary need category with Kansas City and Indianapolis. I didn't make a graphic for that. They're temporary needs because their guys are hurt.
Yeah.
So,
and maybe Indy's different. Maybe Jones is going to be back, but Mahomes is going to miss some of next season.
Right. It's also different because Kansas City's just looking for a stopgap. Where Indy, do they believe in Jones long term?
Yeah. They gave up those 2 first round picks for Sauce Gardner. So they pretty much have to believe in Jones.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And that's why this whole thing is layered. Because Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones are both free agents. No one thinks they're going anywhere.
Right.
No one's even, I guess, 100% sure if Rodgers is playing at all.
Yeah.
But if Daniel Jones is healthy, he's playing for Indy, and he's probably signing a semi-significant deal.
I'm sure that Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl is not hurting the chances of him going back to Indy and Indy thinking
Daniel
that they
Jones,
have their next Sam Darnold.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they made the right commitment last year. They went and got him on a relatively cheap deal.
Yeah.
And he looked great.
He looked great until he got hurt.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
The next one is the at least exploring category. You're going to see some asterisks next to 2 teams. Those 2 teams have asterisks because, as Zach put in his email, they have experienced backups who are currently free agents who will need to find at least backup options if those guys leave. So, Zach, you could explain.
Right. This is just like the gray area category, right? Like Philly has Jalen Hurts. It hasn't been going great. Are they sticking with Jalen Hurts? Yes. But Tanner McKee's been their backup. He's only signed for 1 more year. Sam Howell was a backup for them last year. He's not signed at all. Carolina is going to give the 5th-year option to Bryce Young. Do they really think that they're ever going to win a Super Bowl with Bryce Young? No. Is he going to be the quarterback for another year, try to build around him? They have to be looking. Mm-hmm. The Commanders are going to lose Marcus Mariota potentially to free agency. He's played a lot because Daniels has been hurt. The Packers are losing Malik Willis to free agency. Their backup shopping, Jordan Love, has been hurt, which launched Malik Willis to the contract that he's going to get. And then Houston is the same as Carolina. I think everybody thinks Stroud could be better than Bryce Young, but when's the last time we saw C.J. Stroud? Absolutely stinking out loud. So he's going to get the 5th-year option. I don't think he's going to get that long-term contract. They're exploring. They're shopping.
Yeah, those teams are all their current starting quarterbacks. I mean, certainly Green Bay, Philly.
Washington has their starter. They have to look for a backup because the way Daniels plays, he's going to miss games every single year.
Right. Most likely, yes. Yes, you're right. Okay, I like those categories. Now we have the actual quarterbacks.
Yes. Now we have the top free agents.
Prepare to be underwhelmed, boys.
Yes. And we're going to dive into the Malik Willis rumors in a sec, so hold your Malik Willis thoughts just when you see the list. But remember, Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers are both free agents. They are not on this next 2 graphics because we're expecting them to re-sign with their teams. These are the other 10 potential free agents Zach sent us. Zach, you can run through these. There's 2 graphics.
It's a pretty underwhelming list, as I mentioned. Malik Willis, who has not played much, is far and away. Joe Flacco's 93 years old. He can still throw a football a country mile. He'll play for somebody because that's the state of quarterbacking in the NFL. Joe Flacco will win games for somebody in 2026, 41 years old.
I know the Bengals would like to bring him back as a backup.
Yeah. Sure. Mariota's been around. He was the 15 draft, so he's been around forever. He played decently for Washington.
He did.
Carson Wentz won a game with 1 arm. He's been there. I think he's probably on his way out of being someone's number 1 backup, but I don't know. I mean, the guy's won games in the league, right? There's just not enough to go around. In 2026, we should not be talking about Carson Wentz and Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, we should not be.
Right, but we are.
And Joe Flacco.
It tells you how hard it is to play this position.
That's
true. That's correct. Yeah. And there's something to be said for the experience of those guys. And then you get into, Trey Lance is interesting because he's never done it, but when he's been out there and asked to do it, he's failed miserably. Trey Lance is, I believe, 13 years younger than Russell Wilson. He's around the same age as some of these other guys. Kenny Pickett has had chances and hasn't really done it. But, 2 teams volunteered that they wanted Kenny Pickett last year, the year after the Eagles traded for him. So is he going to be involved in somebody's quarterback plan again?
Yeah.
Probably.
Is Jameis not a free agent?
Jameis is not a free agent.
Okay. Of those 10 guys, if the goal was just to win the most games possible, that was the only goal, who would you want?
You're talking about for Cleveland or for anybody?
All right, let's say
because
for the Browns.
I think the situation matters.
Okay, for the Browns.
But can we just
forget development? Forget just you want to win as many games as possible in 26. Can you show the list again?
Go
Mike?
back to the top of the list if you can, Mike.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, I think the answer is probably Malik Willis, but again, it might be Joe Flacco, which says a lot about the state of things.
That was my thought.
And it kind of gives you pause on the Malik Willis derby.
I would say, actually, out of those guys right there, the one player that jumps out to me is Mariota.
I agree.
Because of he's still a very good athlete. And, those other guys, I don't know enough about Willis, but like Flacco's a statue, Wentz a statue, Garoppolo can move a little bit, but Mariota is a really, really good athlete. I saw him play games last year for Washington where he single-handedly kept them in games.
Mm-hmm. When he's been a starter, he's just...
And he also has a hard time staying hurt. I think he's wound tight with his muscles. He always has a hamstring injury or something along those lines. So that's something you got to be concerned about with a guy like Mariota. But he's the one on that list that jumps out at me.
I don't want any of those guys to be the starters.
Dude, nobody does.
No,
Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the state of football right now.
Does anybody think that Mitch Trubisky or Trey Lance have any chance of being Sam Darnold?
Can I add one thing in before you guys answer? Zach did send one other name on this list, and I had some editorial decisions to make. I could not include Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was also on this list. I chose to not include Zach Wilson.
That's fair.
So if you want to consider Zach Wilson for your answer,
I mean, listen, I never write guys off like I just don't.
You never know.
Because I've seen it happen personally. I've seen it happen with guys around me, and we've seen it happen now with how many quarterbacks in the last 5 to 7 years? Several. which is at least should give you a pause.
Yeah.
Before writing these guys off and say that this guy can't play. I mean, Zach Wilson, I covered him in college, and the guy was a ridiculous talent.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's got it.
The Trey Lance thing is so weird because he's barely played. You're right. He's been terrible when he's played, but he's barely played. And like the Niners, one of the smartest organizations in football, they jumped off him quickly, but they jumped on him originally. Like, what did they see there?
Well, they saw the upside, and then it just wasn't there. And it's still not there because he hasn't played.
Yeah.
It was that weird COVID situation, too, wasn't it? Like, where he played, like, 2 games in the spring and then got drafted, like, in the...
They scheduled a game in the fall to give him a
like one chance
for
right.
NFL scouts.
Yeah, it was a weird deal. That whole...
And he's still only 26 years old.
Yeah.
It's just when he's played, it's been a disaster. And this will be, I think, 4 teams in 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he went from the Niners to Dallas to the Chargers last year to now, presumably, somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, he has a lot of ability.
Was he the backup for the Chargers, or was he third
he was
string?
the backup last year.
Did he play?
Yeah, he played at the end of the year when they sat Herbert.
Oh,
He was terrible.
And he was terrible in that game?
Terrible.
He was terrible. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't see any hope for Trubisky. I mean,
well, you see why Malik Willis, with, basically like 7 career appearances of any substance, is going to get paid.
And I want to get into that. So we
got 2 more categories, then we'll dive a little deeper into Malik Willis.
Okay.
So those are the free agents.
Yeah.
That are currently expected to be free agents. Zach's next category is the expected to be cut list. Zach, you want to tell us why you expect these guys to be with new teams in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, Miami's blowing it up, right? And they're just going to swallow as much as they can to move on from Tua. Miami wants to trade Tua. Arizona wants to trade Kyler Murray. Nobody's giving up anything.
They trade him for each other.
Well, yeah. Kirk Cousins, 41 years old. He did play decently at the end of last year.
He did.
He showed to be healthier.
He's 41? I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah, they're restructuring his deal. I mean, when you go back, Bull, Kirk Cousins was the 2012 draft. So maybe he's not 41. No.
He's 37.
Okay,
he
I'm
turns
sorry.
38 in August.
Flacco's 41.
I mean, still
that's
old,
my
but
fault. Right.
not as old.
Yeah. Geno Smith, gosh, she was like the 13 draft, right?
Maybe 12. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it was 12.
Been around. So you have Justin Fields, who probably last year showed that he's just not ever going to be an NFL quarterback. Okay. But if he's in your quarterback room, he can help your team because he can play a role. So the Jets gave him too much. The Jets are going to swallow it. That's why the Jets are back at the top of this list. But Fields is going to be out there for someone. So no one is any longer thinking Justin Fields can be the guy.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields could go in our quarterback room and provide some experience and help there. So
if you take those 5 guys and the 10 guys on the free agency list, and you said who gives me the best chance to win, I think I would say Kyler Murray.
Really? See, I say Kirk Cousins.
A healthy Kirk Cousins, I mean,
yes. All right.
He's still,
well, again, but
the difference is, though, at least, and I didn't say this as a qualification, at least with Kyler Murray, I guess there's a chance there's still some upside.
Sure. And again, when you say gives us the chance to win, it's what team do you mean? What situation?
True.
Just gives us a chance to win a few games and be respectable.
Yeah.
Actually gives us a chance to have a plan going forward.
It'd be fun to watch. That's for sure.
I think if I'm the Browns and from a Browns perspective, if you tell me I could take one of those 15 players, I would take Kyler Murray.
If you're the Chiefs and you need a guy for 6 games, are you taking Kyler or Kirk Cousins?
I'd take Kirk Cousins. Who would you take?
It's interesting because you're
I don't know, man.
so low risk.
Like Kyler could go in there and tear it up for 6 games. I mean, he could be like an MVP for 6 games.
And if it really is 6 games and on October 15th he's out, and you could trade him a week later.
True.
Yeah.
Well,
you have to think.
Also, like
if
he's a backup, like you're not really worried about like him getting hurt that much. I mean, you'd run him a little bit more. Like
that was the problem early in his career. You
could be a little more reckless with the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just so small. I don't know what the Browns are going to do. Let me be clear on that.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's an answer here. Like he's going to make a little bit of money. Someone's going to pay him in case it hits. He's small. Run not in the AFC North. No. Like I just don't think.
Right.
Like if the Jets want to do it, if Miami wants to do it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are connecting Malik Willis and the Dolphins because the Dolphins defensive coordinator went there. The Packers defensive coordinator went there. The Packers top executive went to be the GM. If they really like Malik Willis, they're probably going to get Malik Willis. If they don't, A, what does that tell you about Malik Willis? And then B, where are they going? Are they in on Kyler or Kirk Cousins? Do they think they can put something together this year? Or are they totally out and building for 27? Like just let Quinn Ewers and one of those other guys just out there.
I think Cousins is probably a better version of Flacco. He's younger, he's still proven that he can still play at a high level.
Minnesota makes a lot of sense for him.
Yeah.
To go back there.
Go back
yeah.
there. Yeah.
They know him. He loves it there.
He
I mean, who's the best team that doesn't have a quarterback?
That doesn't have a quarterback?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Pittsburgh, probably.
Right, but Rodgers probably goes
You could
back
say
there.
Atlanta. You could say Pittsburgh.
But he's not. Well, obviously Atlanta's cutting him, so they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're cutting him because it's been weighing on him.
Right,
They kept
right.
him last year.
Yeah, right. Right.
Because they thought they would be better and they thought they would need him when they were better. It turns out
Yeah.
they didn't need him until. I mean, they end up in a 3-way tie for the division title. but
Right.
It wasn't the season
Yeah.
anyone
We have
expected. Everybody
one-
got fired.
One last category.
One last category.
Zach.
Go ahead.
And this is the potential trade target, Zach. And one of the names we've discussed at length. The other two, I'm interested to hear what you think about the last two on this list. Steve, you want to show it?
Yeah, so Mac Jones is the one everybody's talking about, and the Niners keep dropping hints we're not trading him. And what does that mean, guys? We're not trading him unless you meet our price, a very high price. Tanner McKee is interesting. He's been the backup in Philly. He's beaten out other guys. He has not played great when he's had to play, but he's tall, he can throw it, and he is a year from free agency. So if you're Philly, you're thinking about trading him now and getting something for him rather than letting him walk. And teams have seen enough of him to feel like maybe he could be. And obviously you're getting him for 1 year at this no-cost price.
Right.
It's going to cost you a draft pick. It's not going to cost you money.
Yeah.
And then we have Anthony Richardson, who, former high pick, who it just hasn't worked for. Maybe the Colts are holding on to him because they're already so invested.
Yeah.
Maybe they're willing to just cut ties and move along, and if you think you
Yeah.
can do something. Hear how all of this relates. Like Todd Monken's most success came with Lamar Jackson, who we know is dynamic, and he's in a league of his own. But guys that can move, Todd Monken has made that offense work. You have to invest in it. You build around it at the tight end position with the way you shape things. So that's why you don't totally close the door on a Malik Willis discussion, on an Anthony Richardson, Trey Lance discussion. Just on the surface.
Richardson, there were really bad things about, he was calling to come out of games.
Dude, I covered him in college.
Yeah.
And I'll just give you my experience. He came into the NFL way too early. Mm-hmm. He was very young, very immature, didn't play a ton of college football.
Yeah.
Great kid. I mean, I sat with him for 25 minutes and talked to him. Really super nice kid. But it was like talking to a high school kid.
Oh, really?
Just real young. At the time, he was like his mom lived with him and cooked his meals. He was very, very much still dependent.
He's not ready to lead.
He's not ready to go lead a franchise. Now that was 4 years ago. This is 2022 when I covered him. Mm-hmm. And so fast forward now to 2026 season, guys hit rock bottom. I mean, he's been benched. They've got another quarterback. All these things have come out. People think he's this guy that doesn't want to be a team guy. How does he respond? Some guys can respond and turn it around.
He's asked out of games. He's had freak injuries. He's had real injuries. He's failed. He was supposed to be the face of the franchise. All of these things. So
he is immensely talented.
Right. Do we think that he's turning that into motivation and he's going to grow up as they all do?
Or is he going to be out of the league?
Or is he just not ever going to do it? Right. And that's for these guys to decide. And I think the Colts asking price kind of tells you what they think. But they might not want to trade him. Especially because they don't know if Daniel Jones is going to be ready for the start of the year. And that's the other thing with Mac Jones, too. I really believe the Niners to this extent. If the offers they're getting for Mac Jones turn out to be pick 66 or a mid-third and a mid-fifth, and they don't want to do it, they just hold on to him until somebody really needs a quarterback. Right.
And
then
desperate,
now they're getting what they want.
I just don't get the whole Mac Jones thing. I don't. I know he did a nice job in the few weeks he was in there.
Where it starts, Bull?
Yeah.
Go back to the names on that list. He's better than a lot of those guys.
I hear you. It's it's funny, a guy, and I get it. Sam Darnold stunk, and now he's bounced back. Mm-hmm. But there's been plenty of other quarterbacks that stunk and just continued.
I promise you this much, guys. If we fast forward to next year on February 11th and we do the exact same list and do it the next year, and the next year, and the next year, you're going to say the exact same thing every time we put the list up. There'll be different names on that list, but you'll have the same,
And the overall problem is some of the names will be the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Flacco will be 50 then.
It is so hard to find a quarterback unless you get it right in the draft. I mean, these guys, they're all cast off.
Yeah, I want to talk more about Malik Willis, but go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, I want to set up the Malik Willis conversation with where these reports have come from. Steve, you take tag board full. Jason Lockenforner used to work for CBS, now works for a different agency, was on a podcast, and he was basically saying, and this is from Bob Pompey, who then basically transcribed what Jason Lockenforner was saying, but Both the Browns and the Dolphins are the two most interested teams in Malik Willis in free agency. The speculation could be a similar deal to what Justin Fields signed. Fields signed a 2-year, $40 million deal with the Jets last season. $30 million of that was guaranteed. The report indicates that Willis made a strong impression on both Jeff Hafley, who's the new head coach in Miami, and Todd Monken, who is the new head coach for the Cleveland Browns. So Malik Willis, fewer pass attempts in his NFL career than Shedeur Sanders. Has fewer starts than Shedeur Sanders.
Was drafted higher, though.
Was drafted higher.
But he,
he was drafted higher, but he was drafted at 86 overall. He was drafted in the dead zone, where starters do not develop.
Right.
They do not come from there.
When Malik Willis, a little bit, he played at Tennessee,
it was a nightmare.
Yeah, why is he a hot commodity based on one game? I don't get it.
It's not based on one game, but he was always a development. I mean, this guy played at Liberty, and was drafted in the back half of the third round. Right. So it didn't go well, and nothing was going well at Tennessee, where he gets to Green Bay. Gets in a better situation at Green Bay, has a little more maturity to him, gets traded, I think, for a 7th-round pick. Like Dustin was just talking about. When it happens to these guys, they generally respond one way or another. So if you always looked at him as this developmental kid from Liberty, then 4 years is nothing in terms of, especially because he hasn't played. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's staggering to hear someone has played fewer snaps, thrown fewer passes than Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Because Shedeur Sanders played less than half of one season.
That's right.
You know? So that's the upside there. He always was athletic. He always was intriguing. He put up huge numbers at Liberty. He went to the Senior Bowl, and then all of a sudden the thought on that whole quarterback class was cracked. And that was the year the Browns were not involved. They were out. They went and traded for Deshaun Watson. Kenny Pickett went in the first round. It was a disaster. Malik Willis went the bottom of the third round.
Let me ask you guys both this, as fellow gamblers here. You got $100,000 on the line. You got to bet on what quarterback is going to be better 5 years from now. Is it Malik Willis or Shedeur Sanders?
$100,000.
$100,000 on the line. Who you laying the money on between those two?
Right, I have to say Malik Willis for right now.
Why?
Because he's been in the league for a long time.
Okay,
he's further along in his progression. Where I think. There's a reason teams want him right now.
Right, but I'm not asking you who's going to be better this season.
No, I understand.
Who's going to be better in 5 years? But go ahead.
I understand that. I'm just saying, this guy's already at a certain level. Shedeur hasn't even got to this level that Malik's at. So if you're telling me, I'm just blindly betting that Shedeur is going to be great. I just can't.
Okay,
do that.
reasonable.
Here's the one hesitation.
Yeah.
Generally, when guys drop, it's because they're regarded as not being accurate enough, and that's the hardest thing. Shedor's strength is his pass accuracy. So Malik Willis has clearly worked on it and improved it. But that was the knock on Deshaun Kaiser, mid-second round pick, out of the league quickly. It didn't work out. For many guys, it doesn't work out. Malik Willis has gotten the chance to play. He's worked on it. Now, he's not going to complete 86% of his passes like he did, but he found a system, and he grew, and he has grown as a player, as a person, as a quarterback, all of those things. Because to me, it's an easy answer because Malik Willis is much further along in terms of years.
Gotcha.
But it's not a guarantee because there's not a lot.
And you got to pay him a lot more than you pay Shedeur.
Very small sample.
Let me ask you this question. I don't know if I've asked you this question about Shedeur Sanders. If his name had, if he was not Deion Sanders' son, and everything else about him was the same, the way he played in college, nothing different except he's not Deion Sanders' son, where do you think he would have been drafted?
Well, Tyler Shuck went 40 and Dylan Gabriel went 94.
Right.
So I think he would have been drafted in the 70, late in the second, early in the third round.
That's
he
what
definitely would have been drafted.
Similar to Malik Willis.
Yeah.
So
very similar.
He obviously, the people that are angry that he should have been the second pick in the draft, they're wrong. But those same people that are angry and said he got sandbagged, they're right to a degree that he got pushed lower because he's Deion Sanders' son.
Yes.
Or because, not necessarily just because of all the hoopla that comes with it.
Yeah, there was just a lot of things.
Right.
But, that's interesting. The Combine is 2 weeks away, and that's when this stuff kind of starts to come out. Right? Unless you're a quarterback that played in an all-star game, you have not done an official interview with NFL teams yet. So you might be squeaky clean and great and ready to process, but so many of these guys aren't. So until they meet you and have these interactions and know what they want to ask you and put you on the whiteboard and all of these coaching cliches, it really does it starts to happen in 2 weeks and goes through the end of the visits in early April. And that's when they get to know. And Shedeur, at some level, people hate this, but he did fail at that process because he dropped to 144. Last April, the league told us what they thought of Shedeur Sanders, because he didn't go in the second round, the third round, the fourth round. That doesn't mean he can't be successful. It doesn't mean the Browns are right or wrong for taking the stab where they did, however they did it, right, and however he goes from here. It's just at that time, based on that window, the league said, we're not interested.
What's interesting is that, we could ultimately be talking about Shedeur Sanders, who probably should have been drafted between 50 and 100, Malik Willis, who was drafted between 50 and 100, and maybe a quarterback in this draft who the Browns might draft between 50 and 100.
50 and 100.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, they're probably going to have to go above that, right? For
maybe, right.
But if you're in the Taylor Green, Cole Payton business, the names that are going to be on the screen the next couple of Wednesdays, then you're going to be in the 50 to 100 range.
I know you've mentioned, now I'm forgetting his name, the LSU
Jarrett
quarterback.
Nussmeier.
Yeah. You've mentioned him as somebody to kind of keep an eye on. What do you think of him?
Did one of his games last year.
Yeah.
Early in the season. I thought that he had a lot of hype.
Yeah.
Coming into the year. It was a rough year this year for LSU just because there's so much that happened with the Brian Kelly stuff. They had a down year. He was hurt. I think he's an extremely talented kid. He's got a big arm. He's a big kid. I think because he didn't have the performance that he would have liked this year, he won't be drafted as high, but I think he'll have a chance to be a decent pro. I mean, everybody loves him.
Yeah, let's face it, and we talked about this. Jason was someone who was said a couple of times last year, it's a one quarterback draft. One can't work. Well, it turned out to be, or at least it appears to be, too early to say for sure, a 3 quarterback draft. Because right now, if you're the Giants and the Saints, you feel like you got your starter, I think.
Yeah, temporarily you got your starter.
Yes, now how good are those two guys? We'll see in the long run. Yeah. But they're not looking for quarterbacks in this draft, either of those teams.
Yep.
So I'll be interested to see, because once again, it feels like a 1 quarterback draft. But I'll be interested to see, will there end up being 2 or 3 quarterbacks that end up being starters? Odds are there will be.
There's another layer. I think the hearing is tomorrow. Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss. We don't know if he's in the draft or not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're going to get clarity tomorrow on that, but that's an interesting one. He's a second-day pick. He's a smaller guy, but he was electric.
Yeah.
And he came out of nowhere from Ferris State. Right.
Yeah.
And
this is insane. Now guys are fighting Maurice Clarett fought to go to the pros. Now this guy's fighting to stay in college.
Yeah. It is.
Well, there's money to be made in college.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money.
And he also would like to make another name for himself. He could make a lot of money going back.
And raise his draft stock.
And it shows how everybody's situation is.
Yeah.
Right? Nussmeier did not have to come out last year. He thought that they could legitimately win the national championship.
Yeah.
He went back. It was a nightmare. He had different injuries. He didn't play well. The line wasn't great. His coach got fired. It was all around awful. Right?
Where do you think he would have been drafted? Zach,
Dane Brugler believes that he would have been drafted before Jackson Dart last year.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we get hindsight when we have this discussion, and that sounds a little absurd. And Nussmeier's big enough, there's nothing special about him. Like, Dart is bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
And obviously, people know Dart can run. Now, can he protect himself? We're gonna find out there. So Garrett Nussmeier doesn't wow you with that stuff, but son of a coach, accurate enough, raised to do this, did it at a high level at LSU for a while. He was there long enough. He got beat out by Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Is Kirk Cousins a comp for him?
It's a very good comp.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
I mean,
he might have a better arm, right, Dustin?
Right.
Would you
I think he's more talented than Kirk
and
Cousins.
I would say you know me, I've always been obsessed. You got to have a great quarterback.
Right.
I think Jay is, lost his mind a little bit where he
They're
thinks,
somewhere in the middle.
He thinks you could just win with not any quarterback, but like defense and running game more important. But I do think it's swung a little where I think you don't have to have an elite quarterback to win. Now, if your quarterback's good, not elite, you got to have a great team around them, certainly.
Sure.
But if your ceiling is Kirk Cousins, I think Kirk Cousins, who obviously has struggled in the postseason, but his level of player, I think, is right on that borderline of, can I win a Super Bowl with this guy? I think if the team's amazing around him, you got a shot, right? But
I think if Nussmeier goes to the combine and his medical checks are good, he did have multiple injuries, so we'll see. He's definitely going in the top 45, and I'm not ruling out the top 25 because we've seen him do it.
Right,
and you've seen the desperate, and you see the Jets have nothing, the Dolphins have nothing.
That's right.
The Steelers have nothing long term.
So the Steelers are at 21.
Yeah.
The Browns are at 24.
Right. You mentioned the
Rams are in the back of the round, and the Jets are at the top of the second round.
Right.
So for these guys
and the Browns,
if you even love them a little bit,
yeah.
Now the positioning begins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if the Browns are waiting at 24 and somebody thinks that they're going to take Nussmeier, Simpson, or Chambliss, somebody's coming in front of them. Or what are the Steelers going to do?
Yeah.
So that's what it gets interesting, and that really starts to heat up these days.
Do you think the Browns you ultimately think they will or will not take a quarterback at 24 if you had to bet?
I would say not at 24, but I don't know. But I feel really my two strongest feels right now. And again, we have they do some strange things there.
You think?
Okay. I think they're prepared to make an investment in a veteran wide receiver.
Yeah.
A strong investment. Now, that doesn't mean like a top-level player, just a strong investment.
Like a Romeo Dobbs type of player?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think they're going to draft a quarterback. Now, I don't know if that's at 24 or 40 or somewhere in the middle after a move or somewhere after that. But those are the two things I feel strongest about here as we really start to turn the page into the speculation part, and we're less than 4 weeks from free agency. So it's like the Super Bowl was 3 days ago, but it gets here quickly.
Yeah. It would be. I mean, you could let's say you drafted at 6. You drafted Tyson or Tate, and then you signed Romeo Dobbs, who's a slot receiver. I mean, I don't know how good Tate and Tyson are going to be, but you could transform your wide receiving room pretty quickly.
If you take a receiver at 6, you're saying this is our number one of the future.
100%.
Maybe not now. We got a lot to work out on the offense, but like this is a guy that's going to be not Jamar Chase maybe, but like that kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's going to have 90 catches. It's going to have 10 touchdowns. It's going to get the ball for us in the biggest situation.
Tate will be gone by then, won't he?
I don't know. It's going to be right around
at 6.
I mean, he had such a great year.
I've seen everything. I've seen top 5. Roughly.
I hate the idea of them taking an offensive lineman at 6, especially because this offensive lineman, Mayuga, whatever the hell his name is, like you don't even know if he's a guard or a tackle. I don't like taking a guy.
It's hard to take a right tackle at 6.
Or a guard.
Yeah.
I know
it's hard for guys like us to sit here and tell you who they should the best offensive tackles.
You're right.
First off, we don't know.
Right. I agree.
And that's a tough position to evaluate, And so we could be like, this guy was a great player in college, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the Browns need.
I know that Tyvis is obsessed with Mekhi Lemon right now.
Yeah.
He loves that guy.
If they could get Mekhi Lemon at 24, I'd sprint the card.
Now that you wouldn't sign, the free agency's before, but he's a slot guy.
No, right. Things are going to start to fall in place.
Sure.
Right? Whoever gets Malik Willis and or Mac Jones, they're in the receiver business because they're saying away we're trying to be good. And maybe the Browns are trying to do that. I think the Browns are trying to tell us without telling us that they're mostly about 27. And Barry did sort of say that. But they've also kind of said we have this defense, and that's right.
Mestamaker.
Right. You're not buying the lock and for that the Browns are one of the teams hot for Willis.
I'm not dismissing it.
Yeah.
And I think it's the Browns' duty to discuss all of these things.
Sure.
First of all, he seems like a near lock to Miami if the Packers guys
makes
like
sense.
him. And I just don't think I think other teams are better positioned to do that and make that kind of move right now. I think the Browns are committed to Watson's money for better or worse, and are tepidly committed to Sanders, and that's fine. Because he can start the season and go. Yeah. And you're done. If you take Malik Willis, you're done with the Shedeur Sanders experiment. You can't keep him around.
No.
Right?
Right. Yes.
So,
because you're saying, well, we like this other mid-round pick better. Because you're going to pay him decent money.
I mean, you just asked the question about where would Shedeur have been drafted had he not been a Sanders.
Right.
Well, we said about where Malik Willis was. Right. So then all of a sudden you to your point, you'd be bringing Malik in saying, okay.
Right. You're saying you believe in him more.
You believe in this guy who's about the same skill set as you, more.
And it's not like Malik Willis is more proven. Right. So you're saying I believe in his upside more than I believe in your upside.
And the price tag, if it is in the report.
Right, especially with the price tag.
$30 million guaranteed over 2 years is absurd. Look how the Justin Fields, me and Zach were talking on the way down here. Right. The Jets are likely to cut Justin Fields.
Yeah, he was terrible.
This offseason after 1 year there, that's a lot of money to invest in a guy with not a lot of
Justin
track
Fields
record.
is going to cost them $20 or $30 million to not be on their team this year. And they're not winning this year anyway.
Yeah.
But, that's the exact kind of contract that Willis is going to sign, and if it doesn't work out, then you just have more dead weight. Going forward. That's why you invested in
it doesn't really make a ton of sense for the Browns. It doesn't make sense for Willis. If you're Willis, you may only get one chance to start.
I agree.
Right? Like, I want to go where I got a little better offense. I mean, I know most of the teams he's got to choose from are not in great shape, but
it's not just the Packers defensive coordinator being Miami's head coach. It's a guy that worked his entire career in the Packers organization and would be involved in trade planning. They traded for him 18 months ago, now runs the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So if Malik Willis is worth it, they're going to think it. They're going to make that commitment. They know.
Yeah.
That's going to say it all. If they don't want to do that, that's going to say it all.
That's true.
Fair enough.
They got Jalen Waddle, who's a really good receiver.
Yes.
You got Devin Achane, one of the best backs in the league. So, anyway, it does make a lot of sense. Okay, Mike, go ahead.
All right, we'll get to our next topic. We got one more Browns topic, then we'll get back to the Cavs. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on social media. Our goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers in 2026. We're just under 83,000. So we got to get 17.2 thousand more of y'all to hit that like button. Cost you $0.00. Helps us out a lot, and we appreciate all the support. All right, guys, we know the Browns have a head coach. They are yet to make a hire for the defensive coordinator position, but we do know the Browns have at least requested interviews and conducted most of them with 7 candidates thus far. They've interviewed 2 internal candidates, that being Jason Tarver, their current linebackers coach, and Ephraim Banda, the current safeties coach. They've requested 5 external interviews. Aubrey Pleasant, the Rams passing game coordinator. Jonathan Cooley, local kid, went to John Carroll, coach at John Carroll in Akron. He's currently Carolina's defensive pass game coordinator. Corey Unlin, who Albert Breer said this morning is the favorite for the job. He's Houston's defensive pass game coordinator. Charlie Bolin was the Giants' interim defensive coordinator and their outside linebackers coach. And Mike Ruttenberg is Atlanta's defensive pass game coordinator. Zach, I'm not sure how much you know about each of these guys, but the report out of Albert Breer this morning was
why is he the favorite?
Inside track. Yeah, any insight on why?
Yeah, I actually know Corey fairly well. He worked here a million years ago in the Romeo administration. He was very young then. Yeah. And then when Mel Tucker got promoted to defensive coordinator, Corey got his first position coach's job. He has a direct tie to Todd Monken. They worked together for a year or two in Jacksonville. Corey's been around. He's
not a young guy.
Yeah, his year as DC in Detroit did not go well. That's the year Matt Patricia got fired in November. Everything was a disaster. They were the bottom there. So just the connection, and I think his experience, especially the last 3 in Houston, where they've built probably the second best defense in the league. Yeah, stands out there. So that's why he's probably considered the favorite. Ephraim Banda has been a fast riser. Jim Schwartz kind of identified him and brought him in. He's helped Grant Delpit get to the next step. He knows the scheme. He's been there. Tarver is the only guy on the current staff who's been an NFL defensive coordinator. So it's kind of like the head coaching process. Like, you use this to go out and meet these guys and talk with them. You don't know when you'll be interviewing them again or how it's all going to fit. Yeah. Corey Unlin, even if he is your pick, like, he's got a good gig in Houston. He doesn't necessarily need to leave that. And people, I don't know. We're never going to get the full Jim Schwartz story. Yeah. Right? But, like, there's reasons for guys to be hesitant about leaving good jobs. Aubrey Pleasant's the other one that sticks out. The Browns and lots of teams did all sorts of work on the Rams staff. Chris Shula got interviews. Nate Shieldhouse obviously got interviews. Pleasant's been there. They coached in big games. Coached really good players. Yeah, and I think a lot of fans look at the Browns DC job as like, well, they got so much talent. It's a great job, but you really can only go down. Like, I agree. If the defense goes backwards at all, you're getting the blame. If the defense is good. Yeah. Unless it's the greatest defense we've ever seen, you're not going to get any credit. They're going to be like, well, it's Jim Schwartz. I credit Monken and the Browns to this for people all like, there's a lot of other good defensive coordinators out there. This scheme's been – that's all right. But, like, Jim Schwartz was the head coach of the defense. Yep. Jim Schwartz was the architect of this defense. Yeah. And when you're a coordinator, you coach your guys, your standards, your expectations, your scheme, your communication. And when you're coming into the room with these personalities, and there's a lot of them, including the guy who's most important. Yes. He's his own thing now. And he liked Schwartz.
I'm just telling you right now that these guys love Jim Schwartz. And like you just said, a lot of great things. Yeah. The biggest thing I took away from that is that they believe in everything that guy said. And they play to a certain identity that guy play. And this guy's going to come in there with a different set of rules and different set of terminology and a different set of everything else. And the second there's any friction, that's when the cancer starts to develop, because then they start thinking about what Jim would do and how Jim would handle this. And well, Jim would have done this.
And just let me say a big picture thought here. This gets lost for multiple reasons. They were meaningless games. But the Browns won the last 2 games of the year. And not because the offense helped one bit, right? So everybody knew Stefanski was getting fired. Everybody knew the season was over. Everybody knew we're headed to an uncertain future on multiple levels. In this defense, Jim Schwartz's defense came out and played their butts off and won 2 division games and sent these guys out a certain way. Like, they were dialed in to Jim Schwartz. That doesn't mean that the new guy can't come in and do that, but everything Dustin said about the dynamics of this is 100%.
And so wouldn't it make sense? Wouldn't the 2 guys who were here have a better chance of connecting with the players?
They have the same thing, though. It's a good thought, and I think it's a correct one. But they have the same thing, though, because they're not Jim.
No, but but they can still be sort of. I don't even know the best way to say it. I mean, there are parts of that coach who's been under Jim that they would have the trust, I think, of the players, and more so initially as opposed to bringing an outsider in.
The communication piece.
Right.
Yeah, the terminology is a big deal.
Wouldn't there be some similarity? Like, they've coached under Jim Schwartz. There'd be probably some things that, like, a new guy would want to do something and be like, what the hell is he doing?
Well, there's a reason why guys under Nick Saban go on to do certain things, and they do things they think in their mind, well, what would Saban do here? Well, what would Jim Schwartz do in this situation?
That's right.
So that would be the similarity, I think, to the point you're making there.
Did Undlin work under Schwartz in Philly?
No, I think he just missed him.
Oh, okay.
I'm not positive on that, though.
But now all of these guys, I assume, are going to use the same style or similar style of defense.
And Monken came out and said that.
Yeah,
again, that's an unknown.
Yeah,
right. Like,
but you'd have to.
It makes a lot of sense.
They did cross over for 1 year in Philly.
1 year, okay.
Oh, they did. Okay. All right, it's going to be interesting. Based on what you say, and obviously you have a great feel for a locker room, and you've been in a million locker rooms. Like it seems to me the easier transition, because a lot of those players are not happy probably, is to stay within and just promote, and probably Tarver, because he's been a DC before, might make the most sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're going to see some titles get shifted either way. You have some money get bumped up, and this guy comes in, but and is the defensive coordinator, but this guy gets a bump up, an additional title.
Okay,
So
they're going to keep somebody.
But again, anybody can do that. It's making it work in the thick of the season when things don't go right. And when you do have to deal with personalities and dynamics of things. So.
I know it's not a big deal. I mean, it's the running backs coach, but they decided to keep one coach from the old staff. What do you make of that? Anything?
I mean, Deuce Staley's a respected guy in this league. Has been, a lot of people know him.
Yeah.
And, you got two good young running backs who you've invested in.
Yeah.
So
I think he did. I don't know how much credit he gets, but like Dylan Sampson early in the season looked completely out of it, and then he played better as the year went along.
I was unsurprised by that.
Yeah.
I really was. Especially overall, though, it's going to be a young staff. And Deuce Staley, we remember him as a player, but he's not young anymore.
No,
right?
He's not.
So, you're bringing in a offensive coordinator who's never done this in his low 30s. You're bringing in a pass game
used
coordinator.
to bring him on the show when he was the analyst for the Saints.
Yeah.
Used to bring him on before he was coaching.
Can we get Deuce on?
We could try.
We like Deuce.
Zach, what do you know about Brian Storer, who's the new special teams coordinator for the Browns?
Yeah, not a lot. He was raised, right? Rich Bisaccia is one of the big names in special teams coaching. I thought it made sense, Mike. It's not something I gave a lot of thought to, but I thought, given his lineage in Green Bay, that's something that made sense. And you've coached special teams in cold weather, and you've coached them in big games. And so he's ready. He's a guy that's ready for a promotion here.
I mean, let's face it. A lot of special teams has to do with the depth of your roster.
It does. You got the little details you got to be good at.
Sure.
That's what it is. And they weren't last year, but a lot of it was.
Right. But part of the reason the Browns are continuously bad in special teams is because they don't have good depth on their roster. Yeah. That's a part of it, certainly.
The fact that they have not had a returner in a decade that's even competent.
Well, even when they've tried, the guys have gotten hurt.
Well, right. Well, last year they brought in a 32-year-old kick returner for this team, and then he never even made it to the season. Yeah. And it was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Can we bring back, remember the homeless guy who was at training camp? What was that guy's name? Remember that guy? He had a punt return in the
Sheehy Giuseppe?
Yeah,
David Sheehy
Giuseppe. He was a big story that training
return
camp.
in the preseason game, and the whole team mobbed him.
I know, that was funny.
He lied to get into the tryout?
Yeah.
God, what a story
It's
that
like
was.
a scene from Major League.
It was a wild story.
Yeah.
Wild story.
All right, Mike. Go ahead.
All right, we got one last topic. We're going to finish with some basketball, guys, here. It's brought to us by Mally's. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, guys. And all you need is love and chocolate this Valentine's Day. Be ready to say the three little words everyone wants to hear on that special day. It's not I love you. It's I got the Mally's. From friendship to love to every situationship in between, Mally's has the perfect chocolate to say what you feel. Their famous chocolate-covered strawberries and grapes are back in stores on February 13th and 14th. And the rest of their Valentine's favorites like Gold Cup assortments, foiled wrapped, solid milk, and dark chocolate hearts, peanut butter, caramel, raspberry, and marshmallow-filled hearts, and so much more. They're all in stores and online right now. This Valentine's Day, guys, say it with me. It's better with Mally's.
Better with Mally's.
Better with Mally's.
We didn't say it with you, but we said it after you.
Close enough.
We reiterated it.
All right, but we mentioned Jarrett Allen earlier in the show. We previewed tonight's home opener for James Harden and company. But you had mentioned yesterday, and I know Dustin and Zach weren't here, but I want to let you start with this one.
Yeah,
that you believe Jarrett Allen's ceiling has been completely changed by the acquisition of James Harden. So,
guys, I've been so down on Jarrett Allen
Same.
for much of the last 2 years, right? Like, you feel like he's a nice player, but he felt like he was totally capped out as a player. You know, to a much lesser degree, he has a bad reputation like Harden in the playoffs, right?
He just seems like he's been going through the motions, dude.
Yeah. Well, he's been playing better lately in general, but in the 2 games with James Harden, this guy's looked like a player I've never seen before.
He's engaged.
Yeah, I mean, Harden, Mike had said it before the Cavs got Harden, that Harden makes every big guy he plays with better.
Have they ever played together before? Harden?
No, he was already here when Harden was at the Nets, right?
Yeah, I didn't think they played together.
Yeah.
But
Jarrett Allen's only played for the Nets and the Cavs, right?
Yeah.
correct.
So, guys, I don't know what you think, but and again, it's not like Jarrett Allen's going to have a great game every night, but he, to me, like, I didn't even think about when you make a trade, okay, it can make some players better, some players worse, potentially. Right now, Jarrett Allen is the biggest beneficiary of the addition of James Harden.
I got to wonder, James Harden is so talented. He's been in the league forever. He's 36 years old. Like, his basketball IQ has to be insane. Like, it has to be really, really high. And with that being said, he probably has paid some attention to the Cavs and knows what Jarrett Allen's been in the league. Like, I'm not saying he's made a concerted effort to go out and get him involved, but he sort of is. I mean, he's feeding the ball. He's more engaged on the defensive end. He's going after rebounds, loose balls. Like, just, I don't know. It to me is a breath of fresh air to see Jarrett Allen becoming a player before my very eyes that I think can actually be a contributor, a big-time contributor to a playoff caliber team.
Zach, what do you think about
I'm not going to take credit for this. I'm going to give it to Mike. He used the term essential, I think, in the text that he sent us when we were talking about this.
Right.
Jarrett Allen is essential.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be 20 and 13. Right? But he can't play like he's played in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He has to be a factor. And if knowing that he can get an easier lob or two a game, or knowing that this just effort in certain situations is going to lead to runouts because of Harden's presence, that like, the Cavs are not winning anything unless Jarrett Allen is at least solid. And in the playoffs, in the past, he's been a disaster. The Knicks bullied him. The Pacers bullied him. He stunk. He said it. He's the one that said the lights were too bright, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're past that point. Now they're not.
Right.
And so, yes, it's just 2 games.
Yeah.
It's just the regular season. But it's very encouraging, and he is absolutely essential.
I got to tell you, there's times in my career where I played with other players. Like, I always say Mike Doss, I give him a lot of credit. I could probably give him too much credit, but he deserves a ton. When I played with Mike Doss, I felt like I had superpowers.
Yeah.
It gave me a certain level of confidence that I never had. And
Do you think that affected you negatively when you went to the NFL?
Maybe because I was
so used to playing with him?
Certainly possible.
Yeah.
Certainly possible. But with that being said, there are players like that can bring out the best in you and give you a level of confidence. Like, I had ability, but up here maybe was lacking a little something. So like, maybe now all of a sudden Jarrett feels involved. Like, okay, they need me.
Yeah.
Maybe James Harden had a conversation with him. Was like, hey man, we're gonna get you involved tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feed you early. Just little things like that I think can go a long way.
And you think about it, because you have 2 superstar offensive players in Harden and Donovan. Like, guys are going to double team them sometimes.
Yes.
And and nobody's paying attention to Jarrett Allen on that side of the court. So he's always cutting to the back. Because what else is he doing? He's not standing out ready to shoot threes. And you got Tyson out there, who's been great at shooting threes. Sam Merrill, who's a good 3-point shooter. And those guys are standing out there. You can kick out to them. But, like, whenever Harden or Donovan have the ball or going to the basket, he's cutting to the hoop.
Right.
And a lot of times he's going to be wide open in these situations.
His 40-point game was the extreme outlier. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
But, it's going to be one of those guys, one of the guards doing that. Jarrett just has to do what he's done, what he can do. And
equated to being a wide receiver on a bad football team with a bad quarterback, and every play you got to run off. And you got to run down the field, sprint, and you sprint back. And you never get the ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get the football to continue to want to run down the field and be engaged and be a part of the team. And, well, they've got him involved. And it feels like if they do this, especially early in games, he's going to give you the rebounds. He's going to give you the assists. He's going to give you the effort, the blocks, all those things that come along with it. Fill our prop bets. All those things we want. But also, ultimately, win games and win a championship.
It's going to be interesting how Mobley fits in, especially when he's out there with Allen together, and how that's going to look and work. What's Mobley's status, by the way?
He'll come back after the All-Star break.
Right after?
They gave it 1 to 3 weeks. We're at 2 weeks. There's no point in bringing him back tonight.
It's just worrisome because this is 2 now.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's true, right?
The one thing with Allen in particular and how this Cavs offense theoretically could look come a postseason series and the nightmares it's going to cause defenses is Harden has his flaws, as good a pick-and-roll operator as the league's ever seen. Seriously. In that top Mount Rushmore conversation for best pick-and-roll ball handlers in the history of the NBA.
All right.
The Cavs have shooters like Merrill, who's 4th in the league in three-point percentage right now. Jalen Tyson, who's 3rd in the league in three-point percentage right now. And a guy like Donovan Mitchell, who you can't leave alone at any given reason at any point in any game, that you have to focus on while you're having a big guarded James Harden, Jarrett Allen pick and roll. Yeah. And if you decide to send help, Harden's so smart, he's going to find the open shooter. He's a willing passer. Like the knock on Harden, he's selfish. He's one of the best passers in the history of the league. Top 10 all-time in assists. He's 3rd in the league in assists right now.
Yeah.
He will make the open pass if the read is there and they come off to help.
Yeah.
Or you're going to let James Harden run a pick and roll with a guy who's athletic enough to finish over the rim and force your big man to try and stay in front of James Harden. It's a lose-lose situation for teams trying to stop that.
I think the interesting question, and we won't get this answer till the playoffs, is 2 things. Will Jarrett Allen play with this confidence he's playing with now in the postseason? And will the shooter, because what we've seen from the Cavs in the playoffs, besides Donovan and Darius, to be fair,
they got to make shots.
Nobody else makes shots in the playoffs.
Right.
And we see this with role players all the time in the postseason. Will Sam Merrill, will Jalen Tyson, who's had a magnificent breakout season, will these, Dean Wade, I guess, if he plays.
Are we getting Max Strus back at some point?
Strus. Will these guys, Strus has done it.
Schroeder.
Will these guys hit their shots in the playoffs? If they do, the Cavs can win it all. I think we'd agree with that.
Yeah, it's the big question, but they're going to get more shots. They're going to get better looks.
They are.
James Harden
That's true.
And Donovan Mitchell.
No doubt.
Just versus Donovan.
Yes, and it'll be easier for Donovan because the defense can't concentrate just on him all the time.
And the thing about Harden is, like, at the end of games, both him and Mitchell have no problem taking that shot.
Yeah, that's true.
And they both, for me, as a viewer, as a fan, I have confidence in both players to be able to make that shot.
The other part of the Allen discussion was when he gets the rebound and has 2 guys to outlet it to. Like, let's make it happen here.
Yeah, right.
He's not just getting the rebound and saying, I'm going to hang on to this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, let's get it and let's
go.
Let the magic happen.
Yeah.
For sure.
And defensively,
yeah.
Harden has played better these 2 games.
Right.
Historically, defense has not necessarily been a strong suit.
Right, but neither was Darius.
No, but I'm just saying the way you kind of hide a guy who is stronger and bigger than Darius, probably a little less laterally quick, is rim protection. And that is the benefit of having a Mobley and an Allen behind you. So you're up, point of attack, backcourt pressure can be a little susceptible if you have 2 protectors at the rim like they currently do.
You know how in the playoffs in the past, teams would purposely try to pick out Darius?
They'll do it to Harden.
Sure. They do it to Harden?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Luka, go back and watch some of the.
Well, but Luka, I mean, that's.
But I'm just saying, go back and watch.
Well, not everybody, but how many players can do what Luka can do?
I'm just saying, go back and watch the Clippers Mavs series from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And they were picking on each other. It was one-on-one.
I hear
basically
you.
In the context.
Right. I'm just saying, there's not many players that can do what Luka can do.
It's just that's how teams play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you get to a point in a playoff series where you're running plays, but everybody knows what's coming. So you're picking out matchups, you're picking out spots, you're countering little things. And yes, teams did attack Darius Garland. There's no doubt about that.
They'll be attacking your backhand on the pickleball court.
Yeah. All right, Mike, let's do Super Chats now early.
Well, I got one more thing.
Oh, because
not in the Cavs. Not in the Cavs, though. Real quick, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us on social media. We appreciate it. Do all that stuff. It costs you $0.00. Boy, yesterday, we were going to do this topic until the Malik Willis rumors came out. But the Tigers signed Justin Verlander to a 1-year, $13 million deal.
Yeah.
They deferred $11 million off, so it's just $2 million this year. They start paying those payments in 2030. At this point, the Guardians, to your point, their second biggest move of the offseason has been C.J. Kayfis dropping the dots in his name and going from
exaggerating,
but
not by much.
Kayfis to just C.J. Kayfis.
Yeah.
Is this all just banking? Are the Guardians, is their whole offseason plan just banking on internal development? Is that literally
I mean, they've done nothing.
Hoping?
They've essentially done nothing to improve the team externally, which is really disappointing. Not surprising, but what's so frustrating if you're a Guardians fan right now, guys, and I don't know how much you're locked into baseball, Zach, but every other team, there's usually the 8 teams that don't spend money every year.
Yeah.
The other 7 all spent money this year. The Pirates have been super aggressive this offseason.
Yeah.
The White Sox have been super aggressive this offseason. The A's, like all these other teams have been aggressive. And we understand that the Guardians start from a solid place. They're in a bad division generally, and they're a well-run team in terms of their front office, and they're as good, if not better, than any team in baseball at drafting and developing pitching or acquiring and developing pitching. But your offense was terrible last year, and some of that got masked because they had this magnificent September as Detroit had this ultimate collapse. It still was a terrible offense, and they have literally done nothing to address it. Nothing. I'm not exaggerating. They have not. The only money they've spent on offense this offseason is to re-sign Austin Hedges, the worst hitter in baseball.
Well, they re-signed Jose Ramirez, too.
Well, but he was already here.
Yeah.
So they have. That's okay, fair. But the only player they added that wasn't on is to bring back Austin Hedges. Yeah. They did spend money on.
No, well, they really like the guys that they have.
But they weren't good enough last year.
No, they weren't. But most of them were very young and cheap. I mean, the money is an issue for sure.
They need to spend more money. They can't. They have the lowest payroll in baseball right now.
Yeah,
that is completely unacceptable.
Yeah, that's an impossible sell.
Right. There's no excuse for that. And the frustrating thing is they have a good enough pitching to get to the playoffs, and they should be going all in. Like, I didn't like the Tigers offseason that much, and then all of a sudden in the last couple of weeks they signed Framber Valdez and Justin Verlander. Now I know Justin Verlander is old, but he's still good, especially for the back of the rotation. And Framber is an amazing number 2 behind Tarek Skubal. So while they're going to lose Skubal in a year, they now have a legit 1-2 punch at the top of their rotation, and they're in a better position to win the division and a better position to win the playoffs than the Guardians are.
Yeah. Well, it's a long season.
How old is Verlander? Yeah. Is he almost 40?
No, he's over 40.
Oh, he's over 40.
I think he's 42.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old is he?
I think he's 43.
Yeah, I mean,
same age as
I'm
me.
already like over 3 in ages.
He's 42, turning 43 this year.
Okay.
Turning 43 this year, yeah.
That was close.
What were his numbers last year? What was his ERA?
Last year, Justin Verlander had a 3.85 ERA. A 1.36
bad for a 42-year-old, man.
I mean,
starts.
those numbers are not great, but that's serviceable. Now, the Guardians don't need a pitcher, but, like, there were bats to get, and they didn't play on any of them. They're going to claim they did, and guys wanted more playing time. Give me a break. Give me a break. You could still sign Rhys Hoskins. He's out there. He's the only hitter left that's any good in free agency.
Where was he, in the Phillies?
Last year he was with the Brewers, but he was originally a Philly, yeah. And, I don't know, you could play him at DH, first base with Manzardo.
If you had to pick right now the order of the finish in the AL Central for the upcoming season, how would you pick it?
Tigers 1. It's tough between the Royals and I'll put the Guardians 2. Royals 3. I'm going to say the White Sox 4, believe it or not, and the Twins 5.
Wow.
Yeah, the White Sox have done some interesting things. I could be wrong about that. Like, they'll both be pretty bad. They'll both win 90.
Do they have any pitchers of note? The White
Sox?
Yeah.
They have a couple of pitchers of note. One is escaping me. Last year they had a guy, he was their all-star. He was a Rule 5 pick and was a starting pitcher and all-star. I think it's the first time it's ever happened, and I'm totally drawing a blank on his name right now. They have a young starter named Jonathan Cannon who's talented, and they did sign one free agent. I can't think of who it was, like a decent starter, serviceable guy. So, yeah, they're still – they got major question marks in their pitching. The Twins have a better rotation than the White Sox, but the Twins' bullpen is one of the worst I've ever seen. Not that the White Sox is great, but both teams have pretty bad lineups. But I like the White Sox lineup better. They were at least trying this offseason. The White Sox didn't try. The Twins didn't try, and neither did the Guardians, and that's disappointing. The Guardians, I think, have spent, I want to say $11 million this offseason, $4 million on Hedges. There was one relief pitcher who I can't think of now. They spent $4 or $5 million on, and then they spent like $1 million on 2 other relief pitchers. That's it. I mean, it's just pitiful. By the way, in the most bizarre thing, 3 MLB superstars in the last 24 hours have all gone down with a broken hamate bone in their hand.
Really?
First of all, it's a bizarre injury.
How did they do it?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. We know for sure. But Francisco Lindor.
Do you know what the hamate bone is for anyone out there?
Isn't it right on the top of your hand?
Yeah, right. It's right here.
Right on your pinky. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read from past.
I'm sorry. It's this.
It's on your palm going to your pinky.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
if you do a line here, it's right
Yes.
here.
Yes.
So Francisco Lindor, Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks, and
Holiday.
Jackson Holiday for the Orioles, all broke their hamate bone in the last week.
Wow.
Apparently, it's an injury that you could be back in like 2 months, and it's 6 weeks till the season starts.
When is the World
my
Baseball
son broke
Classic?
his hand
It
over the weekend.
starts, I want to say, the first week of March.
Okay.
Or did it start before that? I can't remember exactly, but I'm into it, even though I don't know exactly when it starts.
Yeah, no, I like the
it. It was
concept.
exciting. I mean, when Trout and Ohtani faced each other 2 years ago at the end, I mean, that was pretty exciting.
I've been buried in Federal League basketball, so not up on baseball, but I know it's time.
Spent too much time at the field house.
Yeah, the teams are really, I mean, obviously Team USA is excellent. The Dominican Republic team, if you look at their lineup, it's absurd.
Sure.
Team Japan obviously is very good. Puerto Rico's got a good, although Puerto Rico, a lot of their players didn't get insurance for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then, those are probably the best teams. I think I'm forgetting one other team. Oh, Cuba's probably got a good, is Cuba? I don't know. Can't think of it now. But anyway.
It's good TV.
It's good TV, yeah.
It's
I mean,
good TV.
there's at that time of year, you're in the dregs of the NBA.
No, I'm a baseball watcher. I'm just not a 12-month.
Are you a baseball bettor?
No, it's too much.
It's too much.
It really is.
It's hard. I mean, it's a hard sport to predict. But.
I mean, one time I went to a Pirates game and I put $10 on Josh Bell to hit a home run, and Josh Bell hit a home run, and I was
That's fun.
Yeah, I was basically the next Abner Doubleday that day, right? But I mean, like following baseball and keeping up with it. Yeah,
You gotta love it, man, and you do.
Yeah,
sure.
The PNC is one of the nicest parks in all of baseball.
It is. We try to go every year, especially now that they have skiings.
Right, and it's easy to get tickets.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
He is. He's a Bills fan.
I'd love to the Pirates to re-sign him.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be good for baseball.
They
right?
should. I think the Pirates are going to be a surprisingly competitive team in this.
Okay.
The NL Central's actually pretty good. The Cardinals are horrible, which we're not used to. But the Reds are good. The Cubs are good. The Brewers are always good.
Dustin is going to parlay Cavs over 130 tonight.
There we go.
Pirates to make the postseason.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd go that far with the Pirates in the postseason, but I think they'll be competitive. I think they could get over 500 this year.
Okay.
Making progress.
We'll take their over on the win total.
Yeah, what is there? I don't know what it is. I bet you it's in the 70s.
78.5. I don't know.
No, it's probably lower than that.
so?
Yeah,
I
it's
like
probably
them though,
lower
but
than
they've added 3. Like they've had the pitching, especially the starting, but their lineup has sucked. But they added 3, no stars, but 3 good, solid major league starters.
I actually was
in the lineup.
the only. I was looking when I'm in Phoenix for the NFL owners meetings here in a few weeks. The season has started and the Tigers play the Diamondbacks. So I would like. I've never been to that stadium.
We walked past it, but remember we.
The Diamondback Stadium?
Yeah,
Looks awesome.
But
Very cool.
we didn't.
I'm actually staying in Tempe, so I might go to an Arizona State baseball game.
Oh, nice.
That'd be there'd be more
college
there than baseball. Jack.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mindy will be with me.
Yeah. What are you trying to get him in trouble here?
I mean, wear sunglasses.
That's the key. That's the key to being a creep. All right, go ahead, Mike.
All right, we got some super chats, and then we'll have some fun to wrap up the show. The first super chat comes from Acid Brooks, who says, "This super chat's for Bull. Mason Graham ranks among all rookie defensive linemen. First in tackles, third in QB pressures, second in defensive stops to Schlesinger. It was a great pick."
Okay, how many times do I have to say that?
There's not going to be enough time, so say it again.
I'll say it quickly. I admitted early in the season I was unfair to Mason Graham. He is a very good. He appears that he's going to be a very good NFL player. It was the wrong pick.
Yeah.
It was the wrong pick.
I'm going to say it was a good pick, and
Right.
there's a possibility that over time it will be a great pick. And
Right.
It was clearly made to be a pick over time because
Yes,
they traded
sure,
down. and did it.
sure.
However, Tedero McMillan could have been
That's
a
what they
good
should have
or
taken.
great pick. And
Yeah.
anybody on the offensive side could have been a good or great pick.
Right.
Because you invested in defensive tackle and free agency, and your first draft pick the year before was a defensive tackle.
Right.
Therefore, for it to be great, Mason Graham might have to be John Randall.
Right. And yeah, to your point, like if the next 5, 6, 7 offensive players had all been lousy, then maybe, it's
But
not
the offensive
his fault.
rookie of the year went 3 picks later,
Exactly.
and here you are needing a wide receiver.
Desperate for
That kid's a
number
real
one
deal.
receiver.
We saw him at those joint
Fantastic.
practices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. And, oh, man. Well, what are you going to do? And that's, again, you're right. Mason Graham's a good pick.
Yeah.
But, like, you drafted D tackle at 6. He better be an all-time great.
Yeah.
We'll see. Go ahead, Mike.
Next one. Bill Rodewald says, Bull, when's your surgery? I'm 2 years post-op.
Oh, good for him. How much weight has he lost? Let me know, Bill. My surgery's on March 19th.
March 19th.
It's going to be, it's going to be
Are you
terrible.
excited,
For 2 months,
nervous?
I'm going to be miserable.
Are you down for off the show for 2 months?
No, I'm going to miss
long
the
you-
show for probably 2 weeks.
Okay.
But the 2 weeks leading up to the surgery,
gonna be
I can only eat 4 ounces of meat, and I got to have 2 meals that are protein drinks. Then I'm in the hospital for 2 days, and then there's 2 weeks after that where all I can have is protein drinks or like bone broth. Can't eat. And then 2 weeks after that, I can only eat pureed foods. And then 2 weeks after that, I can only have soft foods.
Yeah.
So it's a while. But that's what I have to do. It's my
Yeah,
only
man.
choice.
You gotta do
It is what it is, Bull.
I'm excited
We're happy for you.
and terrified at the same time.
We're happy for you.
I'll be miserable for a while.
Being alive is better than being dead.
That's right.
Acid Brooks.
Yeah.
Deshaun went 8-4 the year we went to the playoffs.
And he played 2.5 good games. The guy stinks.
We got to stop. Like, we judge quarterbacks by the win-loss record.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have nothing to do with the win-loss record.
Deshaun didn't go 8-4. That's not right. He didn't start 12 games.
No,
that year.
he did not.
Yeah.
And, before I get to the whole thing, forget it. 'Cause, people only use the win-loss record of the quarterback when it's convenient to use the
Correct.
win-loss.
What's
Flacco
next?
won 4 games in a row. The Browns won 11. Deshaun didn't win 8. I mean, come on.
Right. He didn't win 8.
I never said super chats are accurate.
Yeah.
I just read what they send in.
Yeah.
Primetime says, I love chocolate, love Mally's, love Zach effing Jackson. Nothing is better than the Wednesday before Valentine's Day.
Love
There you
it.
go, man.
All right.
Zach's been a great addition, man.
Love it. If he had to give up Zach or chocolate, what would he give up?
Easy. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Go ahead.
Even though, to be honest, those peanut butter Reese's Hearts, incredible for me.
Yeah. All right.
Legitimately incredible.
I had to walk away from that stuff because I'll just keep eating it.
Yeah, nonstop.
I can't have one because then I'll have 12.
Mikey, skinny is a real. Shut the hell up.
I'm serious.
Skinny people are not allowed to complain about eating. End of conversation.
If I have one Reese's, how many will I have?
All of them.
Yeah.
No, it's true. In the office for the production team, we have to hide
What a
snacks from
tough
Mike.
life you have. I love when skinny people say, "You wouldn't know this, but I could out-eat you." Yeah.
I'm
right.
not saying that.
Okay, go
But
ahead.
if it was Reese's, I could.
Although it's always skinny people winning these the hot dog
Yeah,
eating contests.
Kobayashi
Usually
was
Joey
like
Chestnut.
$1.70.
In my local gas
Yeah.
station stop in the morning, they
Yeah.
put the Reese's in the freezer or the fridge.
Yeah.
In like with a sign like "Get them chilled," and like I have to walk away because I won't eat one pack. Like I will buy 3 packs and
Yeah.
eat them on my way home or the way here or wherever I'm going. I just don't even look.
Yeah.
Grab what I
Out of
grab
sight, out of mind.
and go the other way.
I abide by the same rules as Zach. Jay Earl says, "Don't be surprised if the Cavs don't play well tonight. Tough game after the road trip. Also, Mike, can you break down if Harden is actually bad in the playoffs?" So here's the misconception about James Harden in the playoffs. He has had good playoff games. He has. He has also had some absolute stinkers in the
Yeah.
biggest moments. These are some of his elimination game performances. Okay? You guys
How
ready?
about that Game 5 versus the Spurs? I'll never forget that one.
Oh, that's on the list.
Isn't that the day we were killing him at the
He cost
Training
me,
camp
cost
or
me
something.
quite a bit
Not
of
training
quiche.
camp,
Quite a
OTAs,
bit of
yeah.
quiche that night.
These
you
are
don't forget
these are
those.
Yeah.
elimination game performance. He had 2 points in an elimination game, but only played 23 minutes.
Still 2 points.
In 41 minutes against Boston, he had 9 points, was 3 of 11 from the floor.
Oof.
In 37 minutes against San Antonio, he had 10 points. He was 2 of 11 from the floor. In 43 minutes against Miami, he had 11 points. He was 4 of 9 from the floor. Against Golden State in 2015, this is when he was with the Rockets, 43 minutes, 14 points. Against the Rockets again, 35 minutes, 15 points. In 2024 against the Clippers, 43 minutes, 16 points, shot 31% from the floor. He had 17, 17, 17, 19. He has had a couple great ones, to his credit, against Golden State.
Yeah,
in
but overall,
2015.
if you look at his career numbers in the playoffs, they're down from the regular season.
Everything's down. Now, a lot of players see a little bit of dip.
Yeah.
Harden has had, and I cannot, there has had some incredible playoff games.
I mean, of course he has. He's
But
played a lot of playoffs.
he's also played in 173 of them.
Yeah.
In the biggest ones, in the Game 7s, he's had some absolute stinkers, and
Yeah.
that's a narrative that he hopes, and I hope he can change here in Cleveland.
There's no arguing. You can't twist the numbers. The truth is James Harden has a fair reputation of often collapsing in the big spot. He can't run from that. He's got to change it. Alex Rodriguez had stunk for years in the playoffs until he didn't.
Peyton Manning couldn't win the big one until he did.
John Elway, whatever.
Yeah, same, right.
It'll be Josh Allen until he does.
We can't try to pretend. Right. Let's not, as Cavs fans, pretend there's some myth that he's been bad in the playoffs. He has to say he's had good games. Well, every player that's played in the NBA has had some good games in the playoffs. Of course, he's going to have some good games in so many games. And it's the nature of the sport. It's not like baseball where
he's also an all-time great player. He's going to have good games.
Right.
He has had good games.
He deservedly has a bad playoff reputation. It's not about poo-pooing.
It's the big spot, Adam. It's the big spot.
It's the big spot.
It's the elimination game.
We can't pretend it hasn't happened. He's got to change that, and that's possible.
That's right.
I agree with all that. Next. Lynn Bowman says, what type of quarterback do you think Todd Monken prefers?
A good one.
Well, yeah. I mean,
someone who can run a little bit.
He elevated Lamar. I mean, before that, he didn't really coach a lot of mobile quarterbacks. I mean, I guess at Georgia, Stetson Bennett's a mobile quarterback, but he's just kind of there. I mean, he could throw on the run, but he's not like a runner.
I mean, at this point, you want every quarterback you want to at least be a little mobile. I mean, there's no statues in the league anymore.
Right, but what the Ravens have done, and it's worked, is you build your entire offense. Your entire organizational thinking is around what Lamar Jackson can do. Yeah. And then the addition of Derrick Henry took that to a new level. And Lamar's numbers the first year Derrick Henry was there as a passer were even better than the first year Monken was there. Yeah. So that's exciting, and this is a great question. And we're going to know that. Yeah. And then what's our skepticism? Well, I don't care if Todd Monken's the greatest coach in the world. Look at what he's working with right now. So meeting in that middle ground, is it fair to think he would want a mobile quarterback and could do some things? Sure. Is that Deshaun Watson to an extent? Has it been? Yes. Is it not Garrett Nussmeier? We'll see.
Can he move at all? Or is he an old school statue?
Yeah, he's closer to an old school statue.
Very few of those guys.
Yeah.
Like, who's that? Kirk Cousins?
That was our comp, right?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who's a statue anymore? I mean, everybody runs a little bit. Almost every guy. All right, Mike.
All right, last super chat. Nate Godwin says, Shador fans are angry that an NFL team is weighing all options for quarterback. It's hilarious. Stop crying. This is the NFL. This is not Deion Daddy Ball anymore.
Are people angry?
I didn't look at it. And shaking his head saying, yes, the chat was very angry.
Oh, the chat was going crazy.
What was the chat angry about?
The conversation was insane. None of those guys are better than Shador. Shador's already passed all those guys. The usual propaganda.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing about that is surprising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that.
Look, the Browns have Shador. They have developed him. They know his strengths and weaknesses. They have an idea of where they think that he can go. And they should know better. They made the investment in him. We'll see where it goes because even the most ardent Shador fan should know he's a long, long way away, right? But they
should know, but they don't believe
some skill there, and so we'll see. Yeah, it is of the names that popped up on that screen today an hour ago. Is Shador more talented than a lot of those guys?
For sure,
yes,
for sure.
But those guys have some sort of level of accomplishment, and frankly, he doesn't. It's only been 7 games.
Yeah,
in his last 4, he was awful. He didn't have any help, but he was awful. So. Where he is, and he's under cheap contract, and the Browns are kind of starting anew, it makes perfect sense to give him that other opportunity. And what he does with it will determine his job security. He has earned none of that now. He's a 5th-round rookie in a bad organization.
Yeah, that's it.
And
that's the thing when people get so aggravated. I think there's very few people that are completely closing the door to him as a possibility. I mean,
you can't right now.
Right? Like, I think there's a chance he could be a starting quarterback.
Absolutely.
But to say he's a short thing at this point is just crazy.
Right. To say don't even have a conversation, don't explore, we've got it figured out after what we saw this year is insane.
If we had said this, if we were making the argument that Dylan Gabriel was a short thing and they should build around him, people would tell us we're nuts.
Yeah.
And arguably, like Shador Sanders at least showed some flashes. To me, Dylan Gabriel didn't show any flash.
Correct.
But still, they both were pretty bad last year. So to just say, the answer's definitely here, that's just silly. But
listen, I think we all would like the answer to be that he's definitely here.
Absolutely.
That makes things a lot easier. Yeah. But it would certainly be irresponsible to think that he's already here,
Right?
And not
consider
explore other options. Yeah,
it'd be a lot easier to really say receiver at 6 is the right move if you knew you had your quarterback.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. All right.
I got a crazy thing for overtime for you guys. I cannot wait to show you this video. It may be the most incredible athletic feat I have ever seen.
What is it? I got to scoot.
All right, let's do it quick.
We do it real fast or no?
We can do it quick, and then we'll get you out of here.
Zach and Bull, don't talk. Steve, take this video full, and will you play video?
we gonna do it now?
I need your reaction.
Well, let me react, and then you guys can react more. Oh my God.
He ran a sub-6 mile uphill on skis.
This is an Olympic event.
Bull, you don't talk. This is just Zach, just Dustin's turn.
Is this cross country skiing?
Yes, uphill 6-minute mile in skis.
What?
That's crazy, dude. His thighs and quads they must be on fire. Imagine the lactic acid building up.
All-time record?
That's crazy.
Discuss it in overtime.
Thanks for showing.
We'll discuss it in a sec.
Later.
Peace.